All right, welcome back to the Bobbleheads Sports Show, where we provide you with the latest and greatest sports analysis and news. I'm here with Smasher,
Hey.
Aiden,
Hey.
and AJ.
Hey.
My name is James, and we're here to take you through the NFL, MLB, NBA, and combat sports on this episode. So, Smasher, why don't you go ahead and get us started with the NFL?
All right. Well, we will start ourselves off with the NFL results from last week. So, first game from last week was, which we talked about a bit in the last episode, Jaguars 31, Saints 24. Danny, want to comment on that?
That's about what we expected.
Yeah, Kamara's back to old Kamara. We all kind of thought after taking time off he might regress a little bit. He's back to old Kamara. And absolutely,
he's still very good. Top 10 running back in this league.
Yeah, dominant force in that offense.
Well, the offense kind of sucks. Derek Carr sucks.
He's really bad. Next up, we got the Ravens 38, absolutely demolishing the Lions 6.
I don't think anyone saw that ass beating coming at all.
I mean, I saw the Ravens winning coming.
I saw them winning by like a field goal, maybe a touchdown. I wasn't expecting it to be an absolute blowout.
No, this is what happens when the Lions they've been winning and winning and winning. Eventually, you'll have a bad game. Eventually, they happen to have a bad game against an AFC contender who's really, really, really good. And Lamar Jackson played out of his mind.
They didn't even.
It's not that surprising that they got blown out, but I think they bounced back.
They didn't even have a bad game. They just couldn't score. Jameer Gibbs had 126 yards. Amon Ra had 102 yards.
They didn't have a bad second. I think the first half was awful. Didn't they only get like 40 yards?
Were watching it together, and yeah, that first half until the last drive, I think they had a total of 20 yards. You're not going to win doing that.
Well,
they were 5 of 16 on third down. 5 of 16 on third down is not good. That is bad.
They were not very good. The next game, Bears 30, Raiders 12. Tyson Bagent came to bowl.
Tyson might be him. He might actually take over this offense. Another result.
Okay, let's not get so hasty here. He was fine. He was all right. He was not better than Justin Fields.
Dante Foreman was the star there.
Dante Foreman.
I'm pretty sure it was 2 touchdowns and
three
touchdowns. Exactly. Yeah, he controlled that.
You know
offense.
what? You're right.
And Cole Kmet put up 0 yards, 0 catches, 0 targets. He was awful.
Yeah.
Tony Snell.
Tony Snell.
And on the Raiders side, Brian Hoyer is bad. Aiden O'Connell was better, but still not great. Jacoby Myers with the same amount of receptions as Devontae Adams. That's never something you want to see. Josh Jacobs was not good either. The Raiders have struggled early on the season. I don't think they're going to turn it around, and I think it's just bad. It's not good.
Next game, we've got the Browns 39 beating the Colts 38. I personally picked the Colts to win, and it looked very likely for a while until the refs bailed the Browns out. But
so as a Chiefs fan,
hey.
I don't think this game.
it was
I
pretty
wouldn't say the refs
aggressive.
bailed the Browns out. The Colts turned the ball over 4 times. You can't turn the ball over 4 times and win.
But that last drive, there was a couple shady PI calls and phantom holding. And
the fact that the Browns let the Colts stay in this game.
The Colts got the ball back and turned it over immediately.
Yeah, but before that, they had an easy. It shouldn't have been a touchdown. The Browns shouldn't have scored that touchdown, but they basically gave them a new set of downs to score that touchdown. It was a sloppy game, but Sean Watson got injured again, and all the NFL fans rejoiced.
Yeah.
And
I rejoiced. I thought it was beautiful.
Josh Downs was great. Jonathan Taylor is back again. Yeah.
Michael Pittman took 1 catch, 75 yards for a touchdown. I mean, I didn't think he had it in him.
Who started him in fantasy.
He bailed me out. He did.
Josh Downs balled out on my bench.
The next one was possibly the weirdest and biggest upset possibly of the year. Patriots 29, Bills 25.
I've been saying it. The Bills are ass.
On a last second, I think it was a wild game expired catch by Mike Gesicki, who hit a great.
There was 15 seconds left, so basically
15 seconds. So yeah, it was basically over at that point.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is continuously the most overrated quarterback in this league, right next to Justin Herbert.
And Mac Jones was also just still not good.
You can't lose to Mac Jones like that.
Josh Allen, for me, he's just very on or off. When he's on, he might be as good as Mahomes, but he's not on all the time. Like he has every ability, and he's got good coaching, and he's got good weapons. They could easily win a Super Bowl, but they just never put it together. And I will say this: I have less blame on Josh Allen because Bill Belichick has seen Josh Allen a lot. He's gonna figure him out eventually, and I think he's somewhat figured out what to do. He was able to stop. Stephon Diggs only had 58 receiving yards.
He had 12 targets, 6 receptions on 12 targets.
Like, Bill Belichick is still a defensive genius. He can run a defense.
So far in the postseason, last year they were stopped by the Bengals. The year before that, they were stopped on that 14-second drive by Mahomes. Really, it's been a bit of just unlucky going against teams quarterbacks that are just better than him. The AFC is tough to get out of.
Yeah.
Next, we've got, the rivalry. The Giants 14, Commanders 7.
Saquon's back,
Giants
baby.
get it done.
Saquon's back.
But, oh, God, was that
Saquon's
that
back.
was a bad showing for the Commanders O-line.
Saquon's back.
Oh, yeah.
Waller's
How
back.
many sacks was it? How many sacks? 7?
6 sacks.
Wasn't that?
6 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and a fumble recovery.
Damn, I didn't even realize
Against
we
the
had that many
Giants
sacks.
D-line. It's not even a Giants D-line that's that great. They just the Commanders O-line and Sam Howell. He's on track for that sack record. He's not looking good.
I think the statistic was Sam Howell had like 2.25 seconds in the pocket on average before he had to throw it or got sacked, which is ridiculous.
Not good.
And it's not like the Giants have someone like an Aaron Donald or
What do you mean? We have Sexy Dexy and Kayvon Thibodeau who can bind for 3.5 sacks.
They're not on the level of the elite pass rushers, and they still do that.
Dexter Lawrence, I would say, is an elite pass rusher. Kayvon Thibodeau's not there yet. He's way too inconsistent. Dexter Lawrence is very good, though. He's really good.
I'd be scared to see what that D-line, how that D-line holds up against, how that O-line holds up this week against the Eagles.
I believe Jason Pinnock had the highest linebacker rating of all of last week in that game.
He's playing the Commanders O-line.
Tackle for loss.
Did he get a pick?
That is true.
Because I know that Sam Howell threw 1 pick.
No, Deontay Banks got the pick.
Yeah.
Shit, rookie.
Yeah.
Going off.
The Giants.
Deontay Banks is good.
The Giants finally figured out how to use their rookies. In other words, Jalen Hyatt, 2 receptions for 75 yards.
They also finally used Waller and Saquon correctly.
Yeah,
Waller had 7 receptions for 98 yards and a touchdown.
The offense offensed and scored touchdowns for the first time this month.
Daniel Jones might be the problem. Daniel Jones might legitimately be the problem.
When you have a 6'3",
has been good.
When you have a 6'3" corner like that, you got to be able to use him like they did.
I don't want to admit that Daniel Jones is the problem yet because I have always been a Daniel Jones believer.
Aaron Taylor played really well. He had 116 quarterback rating.
I'm not going to disagree with
Giants,
Yeah, he did play well.
The Giants, if they play like they are, will get like some pick around the 10 to 12 range. There's going to be a quarterback there that they can probably take.
Not a good one.
Not a great one, but I feel like there's also potential for a trade up. They've got some assets. I think that they could get someone like Quinn Ewers or something to bring in, and I think a bigger arm and someone that stands up in the pocket a bit more.
They're not ready for rookie quarterback. They're not ready for
one.
They need to get O-line first.
I know I've been seeing stuff about Saquon potentially getting traded by the trade deadline.
If you could trade Saquon,
send them to the Commanders.
Hell no.
Listen, if you can if you can trade Saquon for some picks, this is a really good tackle draft. If you can get some picks to draft some tackles to hopefully hit on that O-line and get it to be
personally, I'd rather pay a generational running back but that's just me.
Although, yes, he is a generational running
Of
back.
course.
He also doesn't want to leave New York, he said.
No, he doesn't.
The next
What's
game was a bit of a shit show. Falcons 16, Bucks 13. Arthur Smith is the worst coach in the league, and he didn't report Bijan's illness, and that cost a lot of people's bets. It cost a lot of people's fantasies. It almost cost the Falcons the game.
The bets were less of an issue because most lines on that got canceled out.
Most of them also.
It was.
A lot.
It was
I know
dumb.
DraftKings had half a yard on that, so he got.
It was dumb to not report it, and Arthur Smith in an interview was like, "Oh, we're gonna ride the hot hand of Tyler Algier." Tyler Algier had 21 carries for 59 yards. He was ass. He's not good.
Yeah.
Your offense is
2.8
bad. Like, you got
yards
bailed
per
out because
carry.
Baker sucks. Like you got bailed out because Baker sucks.
When you've got Algier running for 2.8 yards per carry, and then you have Bijan getting like 5. Wouldn't you feed the rookie?
I will say,
Makes
though,
sense.
Algier was good on the receiving game with 17.7 yards per reception.
He was.
Yeah,
He's a good
but
receiving
he
back.
got 46 yards off of one reception because he was just uncovered, wide open.
Yeah.
It was a bad game from the Bucks.
The Bucks played like
What else
shit.
have I got here? Yeah, Baker Mayfield kind of crashing back down to earth again.
Yeah, we kind of knew it wasn't sustainable. I thought maybe McVay fixed him, but no, he didn't.
This,
Baker's gonna Baker.
this game might be a bit of a touchy subject, but the Steelers 24 beating the Rams 17.
Rams are ass.
Garbage.
I was
Basically,
watching the game. There was definitely some bad calls in there.
Refs were atrocious.
Cooper Cup non-existent.
But I cannot blame the referees when Brett Maher missed 7 points worth of field goals.
Maher was
Like,
awful.
you cannot win if you're just missing 7 points worth of field goals. We lost by 7.
Yeah.
We lost by 7.
Why did you trade for him? Did you learn nothing from the
We
playoffs
didn't trade
last
for him. We
year?
just signed him.
Either way,
We just signed him.
why did you sign him? Did you learn nothing from the playoffs last year when he missed like 5 field goals in a row?
We signed him to give like competition to our rookie, but then he actually beat the undrafted rookie. So he's cut. He's gone. Like I honestly think if he makes those field goals, because they'd have worse field position off of those missed field goals, that we would have won this game.
Yeah.
I think we would have won this game if he'd made those field goals.
Definitely.
I
Kenny
think
Pickett was bad.
your goat,
Again, 0 touchdowns.
your goat Puka Nacua should be your kicker for now on for the rest of the season.
He should.
Well, I'm thinking the Rams have somehow sneaked up as possibly one of the best wide receiving calls in the league, randomly, out of nowhere.
I will not
Having
disagree
that
with that.
two-headed demon in Cup and Puka with a speed threat in Tutu Atwell, Higbee's a pretty good tight end, and Kyron Williams has shown promise in the receiving game. They've snuck up from
It's
their
a good
offense
receiving
just
core.
being Cup to their offense being pretty spread out.
Our offense is being held back because we don't have an identity. We don't know what we're doing. McVay does not know what to do right now. He doesn't really know what to call. It's not been good, and our defense has been fine, I guess. But you cannot let the Steelers drive down the field to score a touchdown. Like, that cannot happen. No one else lets that happen.
Matt Canada, Kenny Pickett, you should not be letting them score more than 14 on you.
No.
That's the only games the Steelers are winning, ones where they're scoring
I still
14.
believe that if Brett Maher made all those kicks, we would have won. Because I'm pretty sure one of the touchdown drives was because he missed it, then they got decent field position, and they drove down the field and scored.
Well, yeah, because he tried like a 50-yard field goal, missed it, and then Steelers got
it was
second.
horrific.
51 yarder.
It was his fault.
51 yarder.
The loss was was his fault. That's why he's cut.
Real.
The
why he's been
Seahawks
cut.
20 outlast the Cardinals 10. Not pretty at all. Should have probably beat them by more. They covered the spread. My main takeaway was JSN's getting involved, which is really cool for the Seahawks to see.
I will say this. What's interesting is that Jake Bobo and JSN almost had identical stat lines. They both had 4 receptions for 1 touchdown. JSN had 63 yards. Jake Bobo had 61 yards. Meanwhile, Lockett had 38 yards. The wide receiver core of the future for Seattle might be DK, JSN, Jake Bobo. That might be the wide receiver core of the future, and it might be good.
Right.
In
might be good.
Lockett's defense, he did get hurt.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, he's lucky. He's
but
always getting hurt.
30.
Metcalf
So-
was hurt. So
Well, Metcalf
Metcalf missed the
also
first game of his career. He missed the first game of his
Metcalf
5-year-long career. He missed the
pretty
first
sure
Yeah.
Metcalf will be back next week and he'll cook.
game. Yeah, he's already basically been cleared. He almost played last week.
I didn't even know
Geno
Metcalf
Smith was
was.
fine.
Kenneth Walker also got over 100 yards. He played pretty
Kenneth
well.
Walker's really
Yeah.
good. He's always been really good.
The next game was a battle of mid. Probably not even mid. Broncos 19, Packers 17. This was the question I wanted to bring out to everyone.
Okay.
Who is better, Jordan Love or Russell Wilson? It's kind of a tough question.
I think
Here-
if Jordan
here's the
Love
thing.
had the Broncos receiving core, he'd be better than Russell Wilson.
Like, yeah, I think Jordan Love might have more talent than Russ, even though Russ is
Like,
putting up better numbers.
The Packers are a very young team. Half that offense is rookies or sophomores.
Yeah, they're very young.
So
Yeah.
that team is either rookies, sophomores, or 30 years old.
Yeah.
And we've also had, after that game, the main thing about it, because it was such a boring game, one of the big news stories out of it is Jerry Jeudy looks like he's very close to being traded to potentially a contender.
Kansas City,
yeah.
you mean?
Well, I think he could go
fake
anywhere, but also
contenders.
I don't think anyone's really going to want to give up that much for him. Chiefs have been known in the past for not really wanting to give up much for a wide receiver.
Yeah, y'all really like mid receivers.
I mean,
that Mahomes
I don't
Travis
think
Kelsey
not
seems
mid.
like enough.
I think-
So
I think the most we'll give up is something like a 5th round pick, and they might find a better deal from somewhere
You
else.
should give them Kadarius Toney and a 5th.
I can't catch Kerr.
Catch car. Well, speaking of, the next game that we can talk about is the Chiefs 31 beating the Chargers 17.
Bailed out by the
I
refs.
watched this whole game. Okay, it was not by the refs. The Chiefs, the first half was one of the best halves of football I've ever watched. I think there was in that second quarter, there was 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
5 touchdowns. There was
Something like
5
that?
touchdowns in the second
Yeah.
quarter, yeah.
It was mental. Mahomes had
And
something
the
like
Chargers
300
never scored
passing
again.
yards. Mahomes had 300 passing yards. Herbert had 250 coming to the end of that quarter. Second half wasn't as great, but it did prove the Chiefs' defense. What is everyone's thoughts on the Chiefs' defense?
I think the Chiefs defense is legit. I think it's a top 10 defense. I think it's pretty decently young, but I think it's well coached. And I think it's here to help out Mahomes when he needs it. Did Mahomes really need it to stop Justin Herbert? Probably not. He probably could have just outplayed him. But Justin Herbert in the second half was not good. And he was getting clamped by that defense, which I think it's a very good defense.
And
So-
So that's the thing.
more importantly, they were good with Chris Jones doing jack shit. Chris Jones had one quarterback hit
feel
the
like,
entire game, and that's all he did.
What's his name? Charles Omenihu came back from his suspension, and he was great.
Nick Bolton.
Pretty sure he got a sack. Nick Bolton's still, well, he's injured now, but
3 solo, 6 assists that
He,
game. He was good.
Nick Bolton will be a tough loss. I think Nick Bolton's loss will affect the defense a bit when
he
he's
is
still out,
supposed to
but he'll be
for the-
back. Yeah, he'll
He's
be
back for the playoffs at least, so
Yeah.
that'll be a positive. But yeah, Omenihu in his first game back, we picked him up to try and be a real force on the defense. First game back, he got 2 solo tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss.
And 2 quarterback hits.
Good on him.
And
Good on
2
him.
quarterback hits. And obviously, the main thing is Mahomes throwing for that many yards was great, but Travis Kelsey catching for that many yards was ridiculous.
No,
179 yards with a touchdown, 12 receptions. He's Mahomes' bailout target.
I think we've known
Mahomes rolls
that.
out, looks for everyone, and
No,
goes,
he's-
well, Kelsey will catch it.
I don't think he's Mahomes' bailout target. I think he's just the only good receiver on the team.
He rolls out, no one's open, and he goes, Kelsey. Kelsey
Yeah,
will
well, yeah,
catch
no
it.
one's ever open
Yeah.
because your wide receiver core is Kadarius Toney and Rasheed Rice.
Well, Rasheed Rice has been improving, but yeah, Kelsey's still out entire offense.
I think we talked about the elephant in the room, which is Quentin Johnston might be a bust. He's not good, and he's showing no signs that he will be good.
I'd just like to say anyone in a fantasy dynasty league, I'm really sorry for you. And I'm also part of that train of the people who got really hyped on QJ and drafted him.
Is it him or is it the offense though? Because he did only have 2
I think
targets.
it's more the offense. I think it's more the offense at the moment.
He only had
but
2
also
targets that
he
game.
has the hype.
Well,
But
the
also,
issue is
a lot of the
he
thing
can't
is
separate.
when you look
Like,
at the
he
box
can't
score,
get open.
exactly. He's not getting the targets because he's not open.
Okay.
Because he can't get open.
I haven't watched
he's
any
never
Chargers
open.
games yet this season.
And
so.
on the game losing interception, freaking QJ got bullied out of the way by the Chiefs corner. So that's how he got the interception. The Chiefs corner just kind of
Is
shoved
that
him
the
out of the
second
way.
week in a row that's happened to him now?
I think so.
Because I'm pretty sure that happened against the Cowboys as well, where Stephon Gilmore
Oh,
pitched him.
Yeah.
that was against the Cowboys. My bad. That was against the
yeah.
Cowboys. Yeah, wrong
I was
team.
like, Stephon
Anyway,
Gilmore
he still
pitched him.
sucks. My point still stands. He's not good.
I think he has potential in the future, but again, it's going to be something like completely unexpected out training camp type of thing.
The
the next
issue is,
game,
I saw a statistic where it said out of first round wide receivers who have started as bad as QJ, the only one who ever got a 1,000-yard season was Devontae Parker, and there was like 15 options. So he might be Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker's had some solid seasons, but damn,
even that would
over
honestly be
Addison
disappointing.
and JSN, not good.
Oh well, JSN was always the best receiver in class. That was
I think Addison's better than him.
But Addison has snuck up as being really good.
Well, actually, wait. Puka Nakua is the best in the class. What are we talking about
Yeah.
here? I don't know.
Well, no one expected Puka to be that
What are we
good.
talking about here, man?
Jaden Reed.
Our next game, Sunday Night Football, was the Eagles 31 beating the Dolphins 17. And our number one point, which is the debate that I want to try and leave to everyone, is the tush push.
I'm so mad.
Should it be banned? Should it be regulated? Should they do something to stop it?
Well,
No.
they might because Brock Purdy tried it and got a concussion.
Deserved.
I think the Eagles just have the perfect formula for it to work. Because it's not just
I just
the O line. I watched the Bills try to do the tush push, and Josh Allen got stuffed. Absolutely
I think
stuffed.
the Eagles are really good at it, but also it's a little bit bending the rules with the whole defensive players aren't allowed to push other defensive players, but offensive players were allowed to push offensive players. So it's kind of a contradiction of the rules where the defense can't do it, but it benefits the offense, so they're allowed to do it.
All the rules yeah, that's not like bending the rules in any way. It's just following them.
I think
that's
So loophole.
I think the defense needs some rules.
It's
to
not a
happen.
loophole.
I think off like stuff like defensive pass interference and like illegal touching and stuff like that. Not illegal touching. What is it? Illegal contact. They get called way too often, and there's really the only way that there's a penalty to counter from the offense is if they like all start, which is very avoidable. That's much easier to avoid.
I mean,
Like,
there's
people-
holdings, but again, they're not called very often.
Because
they're not.
the offense or the defense gets punished way more in the NFL because that's what sells NFL games. The NFL wants a high scoring game, so they're gonna allow the offense to do things that the defense allow the offense to do things that the defense can't, because that makes the game more interesting. Because a 0-score game or a low-scoring game is boring for fans
I
to
think,
watch.
I think in the end it was 5 tush pushes that were converted out of 5, 1 for a touchdown.
Yeah, that checks out.
Also,
including
I
3 on
would
the last drive.
I would like to point out in this Eagles game, Miami had 10 penalties for 70 yards, and the Eagles had 0 penalties called on them. Which
No,
is
they had
impossible.
No,
they had zero
had
penalties.
They had penalties called on them, but it just got canceled or offset by Dolphins
I
penalties.
only remember
Oh wow!
one penalty.
How shocking!
I remember one penalty, and it was on a tush push play where it was one offensive player and one defensive player both lined up in the neutral zone. which offset it, and then they pushed the next play and made it.
It's the most avoidable penalty.
Like let's be real. The NFL refs could find a penalty on every single NFL play if they wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
There's a penalty committed every single play.
That's
they
why
just kind of pick and choose what they call, which is, I think is a problem.
In almost
but also,
any one
they can't call everything because there's a penalty every play. Someone commits a penalty every play.
Almost in every one school game, you can go in and find, that's where we lost it. The ref didn't call that. That's everyone will always blame the refs because they can't. Yeah. Otherwise, there'd be a holding called every play.
Yes, literally, there'd be a holding call every play. It would just
be a game of who can get the field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dolphins had a holding call and cost them a fucking touchdown that game.
Yeah.
Well, one more question about this game, because it was probably the game of the week. Tyreek Hill versus AJ Brown. They are very good.
They are very good.
Would you... Two questions, which would be, number one, who do you think's better? Number two, who would you want on your team?
AJ took him down, Brown.
I think Tyreek Hill is better, but I'd rather have AJ Brown on my team because he's younger and cheaper.
I mean, I Chiefs bias a little bit, which means I do think Tyreek's better, but also everyone thinks Tyreek's better at this point.
Depends on what kind of offense I think AJ Brown's better overall. I think he's a more complete receiver than Tyreek. Tyreek just happens to be fast
I would strongly disagree with that statement. Tyreek can do everything that you would ask him to do. He could do everything.
I think AJ Brown would fit into an offense easier.
Yeah.
You just kind of toss him in and he'd be really good. Tyreek, you have to design plays for him, but when you design those plays, he goes the fuck off like he has been.
Well, I would argue you have to design plays for every single wide receiver in the league.
I mean, probably, but I think AJ Brown's better.
If you put AJ Brown on the same routes that Tyreek Hill was on, he would not play them as effectively as Tyreek Hill would.
No, but then if you
Tyreek
put
Hill's running his own
Tyreek Hill on some of the AJ Brown routes, he wouldn't run them as well. AJ Brown's a physical receiver. Tyreek Hill's a speed receiver.
Tyreek's better at getting separation. AJ Brown's better at jump balls and
bullying
corners.
If he gets the ball. Both of them get the ball. Tyreek's trying to run around them. AJ Brown's trying to run through them. They're both the top two receivers this season. And they both proved it again in that game. I can't remember what Tyreek stat. I think he had 80 yards.
Tyreek had 11 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, and then AJ Brown went over 100 yards
he had 137 and 10.
Yeah.
So it was really
very competing game. I would like to ask a question. What was a bigger takeaway from this game? Is the Dolphins offense maybe not that good, or is the Eagles defense just that good?
The Dolphins are frauds. Their only two losses, all their wins are from teams with losing records, and their wins are from
You got it.
Their wins are from against teams with losing records, and their losses are from teams with winning records. So then I think most of their wins are pretty not fraudulent, but I mean not that impressive.
Whereas I've got to completely disagree. As a Chiefs fan who's in the same conference as them, they are the one team that I'm really scared of. They're the one team that I think could definitely beat us and confidently beat us. Beat us for the 1 seed, beat us out of the playoffs. It's just that their ceiling is so high. If Tyreek is on his shit, if Waddle's on his shit, if fucking Devon A-Chain's back and he's on his shit, the Dolphins offense is literally unstoppable. You cannot stop that speed.
Yeah, also, the other thing that didn't help them out much in this game was Jalen Ramsey's still out, and they're also down the CB2. They had a third-string cornerback covering A.J. Brown, and that's just never going to work.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey would have been much better trying to cover A.J. Brown.
Also, Eli Apple played.
Yeah.
So, that's never good.
Yeah, like I said, third and fourth-string corners on A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith is never going to work.
I mean, everything I remember about Eli Apple is him shitting on the Chiefs and then getting dominated by our receivers. He's not very good. He He's not very good.
Yeah.
The next game was Monday Night Football. We had the Vikings 22, primetime Kirk beating the Niners 17.
Kirk beat the primetime allegations.
Was it Kirk or was it Jordan Addison?
Kirk had almost 400 yards. It with Kirk.
It was
Jordan
It was
Addison
both. It was both.
was amazing.
It was both.
It's a team game, guys. Come on.
Kirk Cousins played his best primetime game. Jordan Addison looks like a stud. He looks like easily a stud.
Yeah.
It should have never been a question if he was a stud or not. I think he was the best receiver in this draft class because he was the best before he transferred and got hurt. He was the best receiver in football at USC, and it wasn't an argument. He won the award for best wide receiver.
I feel like he's worth like Jerry Jeudy in a second, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a trade that I made 3 weeks ago in our fantasy league. I traded Jerry Jeudy and like a 2024 second round pick for Jordan Addison, and then he immediately scored 31 points.
The big thing is Nick Bosa has been really bad this season. He's still getting pressure on the quarterback, but he is not sacking him. Is his athleticism down? Is his speed down? What's happening?
I think he's just getting unlucky. Because you can see that he's still an impactful player, but it's hard to rack up counting stats in an offense where every single person on that D line could get to him first. It's hard to get stats.
Fair statement.
I think he's getting pressures, which is good. So he's still good. I think pressures are a better stat than like sacks are. He just needs to finish it off, you know what I'm saying? Which will come eventually. Now, if it's like week 14 and he still has 5 sacks, then I'm going to start worrying about it. Then he might be doing something wrong. But I think we can give it a little bit more time.
I mean, I expected this from him in this game. You look at Kirk Cousins. I don't think that's the
you
kind of guy
think
Nick Bosa's
mobile
gonna
quarterback. It's definitely what you were thinking there. Not at all something else, James.
Well, I think we know what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I was
Purdy
trying to not go there.
2 picks. Brock Purdy is now throwing 2 picks in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, Brock Fraudy for real.
He's gone from this amazing guy that's completely. Wasn't the last drive he threw a pick?
But was not clutch.
Yeah.
Again.
2 last drives.
But was not clutch.
Yep.
Yeah. It was atrocious. I remember it now.
He is not as good as Niners fans have been trying to hype him up to be. He's good. I think he's cool. I think he could end up being a bit like a Kirk Cousins type, someone who's good, keeps them in the playoff hunt, but isn't enough to get him over the edge.
Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Jimmy G is actually probably the best comparison there. Jimmy G might get him to a Super Bowl, not enough to get him over the line to win it.
I think he's like a young Jimmy G, but his decision making is a little better than young Jimmy G's was. But I do think he has less natural talent than Jimmy G did. But I think he could be a solid quarterback in this league for a little while. Like I think he'll be fine. But he's not this elite MVP candidate. Let's be for real.
Brock Purdy's not as hot as Jimmy G, which hurts.
That's true.
We've got
I would like to point
Babyface.
I would like to point out something. The 49ers defense against the Vikings had 0 sacks the entire game. I think that their defense has regressed, and I think it might be a coaching thing. They lost DeMeco Ryans in the offseason. He's doing wonders with the Texans. I think they really miss him. I think he was a difference maker for this team, and I think they're not the same without him.
We've seen the Texans. They've been one of the surprise, pretty good teams of this season.
Yeah, them.
That's a. What have you got to say?
No, I was gonna say them and the entire NFC South. Shocking.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the week wrap up. Do I go into injuries before we get into next week's picks?
Yeah. I've got a nice little list of injuries for offensive injuries for people that actually matter. Fuck your offensive linemen. I don't care about them. All right.
Okay, well, you're a bum for that.
They're pretty important, man. Come on.
That's very important.
Sam Howell will tell you the offensive line is very important.
That's a real Giants fan thing to say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's why your O-line sucks. That's why you drafted Evan
Neal.
Neal.
What? You might be right. All right. So
you want to start us off?
Yeah, for the Giants-Jets game, Saquon is questionable with an elbow injury. Waller is questionable.
Typical.
Yeah, right. Saquon questionable. Shaka. Waller is questionable with a hamstring, and Daniel Jones is questionable with the neck injury still. Obviously Rodgers. Outside of that, everybody else should be good to go for that game.
I have heard, majority of what I've heard is that Daniel Jones probably isn't playing that game, especially because they want to ride with Tyrod until he's
Honestly,
healthy, because Tyrod's been doing all right.
let Tyrod go for a few weeks. Let him do his thing.
Let him
Daniel
cook.
Jones,
he
you
looks
sit over
like
there on the
Good
sideline.
career.
For the Cowboys Rams, we've got Tyron Williams out with an ankle injury again. Obviously,
Also, AJ didn't write this down because he doesn't care about offensive line. Our right tackle is hurt.
Rob Havenstein
He
is
might
hurt.
not
Yes,
play.
I saw that.
We gotta play Michael
Yeah.
Parsons, and we don't have a right tackle. We
Yeah,
gotta play
that's
Michael Parsons, we don't have a right tackle.
It's
We're gonna
not
die.
great.
Stafford's he's gonna be sent to retirement.
Yeah, I quickly made this list like 10 minutes before we started this. So if anyone wants to add any,
Yeah.
offensive lineman injuries or any defensive injuries they know off the
We're
top of their head,
screwed.
go for it.
The Rams are screwed.
What about the Vikings Green Bay game?
JJ's obviously still out with the hamstring injury. Hawkinson is questionable with a foot. Aaron Jones questionable with hamstring. Aaron Jones has been in and out all season. Expect a lot of questionable things with him for the rest of the season. And then Luke Musgrave is questionable with an ankle injury.
So what I'm hearing right now is Hawkinson is questionable and JJ is out, which means it is Addison's season.
Yeah.
Once again. All right. Every game is Addison's season. Smasher down there. I don't know where he is on your screen. He is a KJ Osborne owner, and he is mad. He is not happy with what is occurring.
KJ Osborne's fine. He only needed to score 2 more points to win me the matchup this week, but he didn't. So
Yeah, because he sucks. How
I
many
know
points
he's not
Addison
watching
have?
this, but I know he's
many
not
points
watching this.
Addison
But
have,
KJ
huh?
Osborne, fuck you. Score better.
He sucks.
Maybe one day KJ
what
Osborne will
about,
watch the Smasher.
Falcons Texans is Falcons Titans. Sorry, is a bit more of a. There's not many injuries in that one. We've just got Ryan Tannehill probably going to be out again with an ankle.
I am
heard a lot of
hearing
things that Will
stuff.
Levis.
Will Levis. I'm hearing Will Levis.
I've heard that as well.
We posted on Twitter earlier in the week that the rumors are saying that it's going to be Will Levis's first start. Mustard coffee man.
He's gonna throw 3 picks.
Mustard coffee,
Yeah.
milk cereal, fucking
Yeah.
3 picks.
Everything he
easily
does.
3 picks.
yeah. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Next we got.
Oh wait. I do have a little tip.
Yep.
All right. If you're really looking to cook in fantasy football, you should go pick up the Falcons defense because it's not bad and they're playing Will Levis. Go get him.
I mean, pick up anyone that's not a Titan.
Yeah. Valid.
Hey, Derrick Henry's not bad.
Tajay Spears is better.
Hey, Touchscreen's good.
Next game we got New Orleans Colts. Taysom Hill is questionable with a chest injury. Zach Moss is questionable with an elbow injury and a heel injury. And Anthony Richardson still out with that shoulder injury.
Well, he's out for the
He's
season.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had surgery.
Well,
So that's going to be rough.
that's tragic.
It's really not what you wanted from your developmental quarterback.
Especially
That's
when
not what you
like
wanted.
possibly the second best behind CJ Stroud.
Yeah, this is not what you wanted. I think this will be a setback in his development, but I think he'll still be fine.
Patriots Dolphins is Tyreek questionable with a hip injury, Waddle questionable with a back injury, and Mostert questionable with an ankle injury.
the entire Dolphins offense is. Will they play? Who knows?
People
I-
were saying Tyreek Hill wouldn't play, and then he came out in a press conference and said, "I'm playing." So he is playing.
I think they might rest either Tyreek or Waddle anyway because it's the fucking
Well,
Patriots.
Tyreek
it's going to be
is
Waddle
doing-
because Tyreek Hill said he's playing.
Tyreek is doing the
said he's
opposite of
playing.
Jalen Ramsey. Got it. Because I heard last week Jalen Ramsey was going to be back, and this week he's saying
Yeah.
that he's still not going to be back. So
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's Jags Steelers. Trevor Lawrence is questionable with his knee still. He'll play.
yeah,
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Zay Jones questionable with a knee injury. He still looked fine. I think he'll play. And Pat Freiermuth still out with that hamstring.
Yeah, he's on injured reserve. He won't be back for a little bit.
Yeah.
Next two games are light on injuries. Eagles Commanders is just Curtis Samuel questionable with a foot injury.
And he sucks
Commanders.
anyway.
Yeah, not gonna have too much of an impact. And then Texans Panthers is just Robert Woods questionable with a foot injury. I'd expect
Bobby
both
Trees.
of them to probably play this
I mean,
week.
Texans.
And then heavier on the injury list this week is the Browns Seahawks. Jerome Ford questionable with an ankle injury. Kareem Hunt questionable with a thigh injury. So the entire Browns running back room is just dead.
I think one of them will play.
Not my boy Pierre Strong though. He ain't questionable.
Deshaun
He
Watson.
might play.
Deshaun Watson injured again, out with a shoulder injury. It's PJ Walker season again. Kenneth Walker and Tyler Lockett both questionable this week. One with a calf and one with a hamstring injury. I think they were both limited in practice today.
Yeah, that could be
So,
scary for them.
That's something to look out for
Yeah.
as we get closer to game time.
Here's what I'm hearing from this game. I'm hearing Jerome Ford out. I'm hearing Hunt playing. I'm hearing Kenneth Walker playing. I'm hearing Lockett might be out. That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
JSN
gonna be.
and Bobo proved that they could be good wide receivers.
And
to
DK
lean
will
on.
be
DK
back.
will be
Maybe
back.
they don't need
And
Lockett.
DK will be back as well. I think they'll rest him anyway, because...
No, he already said he's playing.
No, I mean, rest Tyler
Oh.
Lockett.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
not-
I
That'll
don't
be-
think
With
so.
DK back.
That'll be a good game this week.
Yeah, well. Chiefs Broncos.
Yeah,
We've
you
got
Chiefs.
Harrison Butker questionable with an illness. From what I've heard, he'll be fine. He'll pull through. It's like Tommy Townsend last week was questionable with illness. He still came and played. Jerick McKinnon questionable with the groin injury. I actually haven't heard much about that, so
He's a Chiefs running back,
take
so
that
it
as you
doesn't matter.
will. He hasn't really been doing that much. Pacheco's still going to be taking most of that workload. And Greg Dulcich is still out with that hamstring injury.
Typical Dolchich.
Yeah. Ravens Cardinals. You got OBJ's old ass questionable with a shoulder injury.
He's not even that old. He's only 30.
Yeah.
He's had the injuries of a 40-year-old.
He's also played on the team that he's been. How many teams has he been through now?
Four. I think four.
Fourth?
Because it's Giants, Browns, Rams, Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always
No,
want to
he won a
say
Super Bowl.
I always want to say he
He's-
reconnected with
he's-
Landry on the Saints for like a day, but no, that was on the Browns.
Yeah.
And then James Conner out with a knee injury, and Zach
He's still gone.
Zach Ertz out with a quad injury.
Yeah,
Cardinals
they're
cannot catch a
cooked.
break this year.
I mean, they don't really want to catch a break either.
You know what?
Fuck.
You're right. Maybe this
Marvin.
is good for them.
Marvin Harrison Jr. season.
Unless I bet on him, then he sucks.
The next one is pretty short again. Bengals 49ers. Debo's out with his shoulder again. And Brock Purdy's questionable with a concussion. I'm not sure what the protocols will be around that, but
I think I've heard that
I'm not
he's
sure if he'll be
not
back.
going to be playing this week, but something
Yeah,
to keep an
so
eye on.
is that-
He logged a limited practice, but he's still not out of concussion protocol.
Okay.
have they got Josh? Have they still got fucking who's their backup?
Sam Darnold.
Oh, they did sign Sam
Yeah.
Darnold, didn't they? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Good go.
He'll jump in.
I think I
Unless they decide
actually
to run
saw
it with
something
CMC.
earlier today that Sam Donald is going to start this week. So,
I mean, they could always run it with CMC. I mean, fuck.
you know what? You're right. Just one Wildcat the whole game.
Wildcat in every
Just one
play.
Wildcat the whole game.
Fuck me.
Heavier this week on the injuries. Bears Chargers. Justin Fields. Okay. Is questionable with a thumb injury. I think I've also seen that he probably will not be playing this week.
He's not playing.
Yeah. Khalil Herbert still out with an ankle injury. Joshua Palmer.
Roshan Johnson season.
Yeah, it's Roshan Johnson season. Joshua.
Or Dante Foreman season. Who knows?
Yeah, with that backfield, it could be any of them either week.
Yeah.
Bears are weird.
Weird dynamic they got going on there. Joshua Palmer questionable with a knee injury. Mike Williams, old ass, is out with a knee injury.
Yeah, he's done for the season.
Okay, yeah, okay. The other one will be out next week, I'm sure.
The other one is crazy.
QJ's going to end up getting targets because he will be the
Yeah.
only receiver at some point.
No, he's
it's
not.
QJ is going to be
bad.
forced
He will
into
his job to Josh Palmer.
He's going to have 30 targets and 10 catches. But
especially if
No, I don't know what
Everett
you're talking about.
stays injured with his hip injury. Everett's questionable with a hip injury too. God.
Here's the only issue. Even with that, they still got Josh Palmer and Darius Davis, a rookie wide receiver who's 5'8".
Terrified.
He had 2 targets last game.
That's how many Quentin
And
Johnson
he had 3 rushing attempts. And he had 3
what
rushing
we'll
attempts.
be looking at for the last game of the week.
Last game of the week, we got Raiders Lions. Daniel Carlson questionable with a groin injury. The only injury that actually matters for a kicker.
Yeah, I mean that
Leg.
actually
Ankle injury.
Well,
Leg,
you know
ankle,
what?
thigh.
Groin's the worst, to be honest, though, because it does affect.
What
the
if you
kicking
snap
motion.
your leg like Gordon Hayward? How are you gonna kick
mean-
if you do that?
Fuck, I'd hope playing NFL you wouldn't fucking snap. I hope
Yeah.
you get the fucking Khalil Herbert, the fucking Nick Chubb injury.
All right, the worst injury for a kicker that's actually likely to happen. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched Chubb's leg snap in half.
He's also not a kicker.
Nah, he's a kicker. Hey, Tyreek Hill's a kicker.
You know what? You're right. And then
Don't you?
Jimmy G sexy ass is questionable with a back injury, and David Montgomery is questionable with a rib injury.
I'm hearing David
We're
Montgomery
just
will be
gonna-
out.
Out.
We're just gonna
Okay.
fly over that Tyreek Hill kicker comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Next week, I guess.
Yeah, getting predictions.
After the injury report, we've got the first game. Well, already happened. We can give a quick spiel, but yeah, the Thursday Night Football Bills ended up getting a win against the Bucks after a shit Hail Mary throw. but the Bills honestly almost lost that, which is a bit embarrassing again. Josh Allen wasn't great.
Josh
Baker
Allen
Mayfield,
overrated.
honestly,
He was fine.
Baker
Josh Allen
Mayfield
was
might have
fine.
played better than Josh Allen.
Khalil Shakir
no, he
breakout
didn't.
game.
Khalil Shakir was good. Gabe Davis was good. Stephon Diggs wasn't as good. Kincaid was really
Kincaid
good.
is him.
Dalton Kincaid's a good player. He was always a good player. This was a very
Yeah,
good tight
and
end class.
I picked Michael Mayer.
You know, maybe the Giants, instead of paying a 30-year-old injury-prone Darren Waller, they could have drafted somebody.
No.
They paid injury-prone
No.
Darren Waller.
We don't do that around
You
here.
know what we
pay
should have done was
we pay old people like
pay Saquon and draft Musgrave.
Yeah.
what else
that's
we
what
got?
would
We've
have been better.
got we had Chris Godwin had a good game. Rashad White, good receiving game, but not a good running game.
Yeah.
It was 4.3 yards per carry. That's not terrible against a
He
good
just
D line.
didn't get that. He just didn't get that many carries.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
because
the
they were
problem.
down pretty quickly.
Mike Evans.
But yeah, it was a
touchdown.
game. It was the Bills won it quite expectedly. But the first game that's happening on Sunday football is the Rams versus the Cowboys. It's a pretty easy thought here.
I give us your top
Rams
them.
missing their right tackle.
Michael Parsons.
Michael
Over.
Parsons is there. It's the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys. I agree.
But
Same
honestly,
exact
bet on
reason.
Michael Parsons to get 2 sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Not
might- he
two.
might fucking-
Two's a little much.
Listen.
There's too much competition on that D line for him to get 2. Demarcus Lawrence is going to get 1.
It depends what the odds are on it, though.
Demarcus Lawrence going to get 1.
500-600. I'm
And
guessing
anybody
you two
on the
also
team
picked-
could sack.
Yeah,
I'm guessing you two also
Stop.
picked the.
I also got the
pick the
Cowboys,
Cowboys.
but I think it'll be closer than most people think.
You say that about every
You know
game.
what? You're right. I do
The
say that a
Los
lot.
Angeles Rams. We're gonna win.
Ride with your team.
We're not
Aiden,
gonna-
ride with your team.
We're not gonna win, but I have to pick it. I have us winning 24-14.
One game only?
Yeah, Dak Prescott
Not
3
happening.
interceptions.
Honestly, you know
Dak
what? You're
Prescott.
That
right.
might be true, but they're still not
You're
winning.
right.
They're still
Dak
not
is
winning.
ass.
It's gonna happen.
Dak is ass, but I've called Dak ass before and he's won.
You know what, Aiden? You're right.
I still
You've
think he-
persuaded
this
me,
is-
Aiden. Rams by a
this
field
is-
goal.
This is the classic Dak loss game after his big win. This is the classic Dak loss.
Rams by a field goal.
Classic. Happens
The
every year.
next game we've got this week is the Vikings versus the Packers. Obviously we heard that TJ Hawkinson's questionable. But Kirk has just come off a big Monday Night Football win. What are our thoughts?
Big Kirko.
1 o'clock, Kirk Cousins. I have the Vikings winning this game 24-17 against the Packers.
I don't have a score prediction for any of these games, but
I have a score prediction for every game. Get your money
I've
up.
got the Vikings winning pretty
I'll do score predictions starting next week. I also don't have score predictions for this week, but I got Packers. I got the Packers winning.
Get your money up, boys.
I'm a big Packers believer this season.
Wow.
I really like
How do you
the young
believe
guys.
them? They've already failed. They already failed.
I think that their ceiling is high. However, their floor is also
in 2
on
years.
the floor.
Kind of feel like they're on the floor, but James, what's your pick?
Come on now. Big Kirko.
Yeah.
I'll vote along with the Packers.
Big Kirko. Plus, what Addison did last game, I was watching that one. He looks good out there. And I mean, he straight up ripped an interception out some 49ers. It was 49ers guys.
Oh yeah, that was going to be a pick if he didn't.
Yeah.
If he didn't get his hands in there.
Yeah,
that's
a
a game-changing play. If that's an interception, I'm not sure the Vikings would have won that game.
A lot of wide receivers would give up on that and just go, "Oh fuck, well, that's a pick." But no, he just ripped it from his hands.
Diggs would give up.
He just stripped it from his fucking hands.
Diggs would have started whining.
Yeah.
We've got Falcons versus Titans as the next game.
Fucking garbage game.
Falcons. With Will Levis throwing 3 picks.
I have due to the Falcons' run defense being okay. Their defense is pretty decent in general against Will Levis. I think they win 34-7. I think they blow them out. I think it's a blowout, but I don't think it's a blowout because Desmond Ridder plays well. I think it's a blowout because Will Levis plays terrible.
Running backs.
That's
They
why
just keep feeding the running backs to fuck
I
up.
think Desmond Ridder could end up with like 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception on this game, and they would crush the Titans because I think Will Levis throws 3 interceptions.
90 yards, 3 interceptions, gets subbed out by Will Levis for Malik Willis.
All the Falcons have to do to win this game is just commit to stopping the run. That's all they have to do to win. If Arthur Smith doesn't win this game, he should be fired.
I mean, he should have been fired already for everything he's done, but yeah.
Yep. I got the Falcons.
AJ,
I got the Falcons winning this game.
James,
I got the Falcons too. Even though I hate the Falcons as an organization just because of how awful they are, I don't see them beating the Titans.
The Commanders fan.
What's wrong with the Commanders?
Giant.
Literally
Wasn't your old owner a racist?
You're goddamn right he was.
Didn't he also like feet? Oh, fuck.
All right.
Saints versus Colts. I'm coming out again. Back the Colts last week. They barely lost. I'm backing the Colts again. I've got the Colts winning this one.
I also have the Colts winning this one. I have the Colts winning 27-13. I have no confidence in the Saints offense. I have no confidence in Derek Carr. I have some confidence in the Colts offense. I think they're a big play waiting to happen. I think Josh Downs is a big play waiting to happen. Even if Zach Moss is out, it doesn't matter. Jonathan Taylor's back. Saints defense will be able to stop him. Derek Carr is going to throw 2 interceptions. It won't be good.
I don't need faith in Derek Carr because I have faith in Alvin Kamara. And I believe the Saints pull out this win on the back of Alvin Kamara.
All right, James, who have you got?
I just can't get behind a guy named Gardner Minshew. So
Minshew mania.
I just don't like his name.
Jaguars legend Gardner Minshew.
No, listen, that might be one of the. It's going to be sloppy, but I think it could be one of the games of the week. I think it could be really close, and it could be a really good game.
This could either be a 7-7 game, or this could be a 34-34 game.
Unfortunately, this next game will not be like that. It is the Patriots versus the Dolphins. Patriots showed fight last week, but it will not matter. The Dolphins are better than the Bills. The Dolphins win this handedly. Not as honestly. They did get pretty close earlier in the season. I've got them like maybe 7.
I think watch the injuries on the Dolphins, depending on the Tyreek Waddle questionability.
Well, Tyreek sounds like he wants to play.
Yeah, Tyreek's
so.
gonna play.
Come on, man. They're not beating the.
No, I do have the Dolphins winning this game either way. But those injuries are gonna change this from a 21 point game to a 7-point game.
So I feel like it's going to be a close game no matter what.
I think if Waddle and Mostert don't play, which they will, but I think if they didn't play, the Patriots would win this game. But they will play, so the Patriots won't win this game. Like Bill Belichick can somewhat keep the Dolphins in check, but if they're injured, he'll be able to do it. But if they're healthy, he'll try his best. They'll lose.
Also, I have heard, though, on Twitter that potentially Jalen Ramsey could be back. There is...
Well, that will not help
No,
Billy.
he will not be.
Potential.
He won't be.
Oh, no.
He came out and said...
When did you hear that?
He came out and said today that this is news to him that he's going to be back, and that people need to stay off the media and actually start getting shit right and not just saying shit.
All right, so next week.
So...
All right, I still think, Dolphins. James, who have you got?
The Dolphins, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is it even
Come on now.
The next one, the rivalry, Jets-Giants.
The rivalry in the Big
I thought it
Apple.
was a different rivalry coming up.
Nah.
New York.
I gotta ride.
I'm gonna let the Giants fan argue his case.
I gotta ride with my team.
because I know you're picking the
I gotta
Giants.
ride with my team. Giants are gonna win this game. I think Saquon and Waller will play. They both showed that they're still capable of being the old them last week. Saquon was good last week. Waller was good last week. The offense figured some shit out. Tyrod Taylor has been good. And Zach Wilson is simply not going to be good this week. And that's what it's going to come down to. Zach Wilson.
Why is he not going to be good this week? Why won't he be good this week?
Because he's Zach
Well,
Wilson.
for the record, he's never really good,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really matter. He doesn't have to be good to win games with this defense.
Yeah.
I've seen some improvement in his game.
I've picked the Jets to win this game. I picked the Jets to win 14-6. I do not see the Giants scoring one touchdown. Tyrod Taylor's going to get killed. Darren Waller will not be open. Saquon's going to get smothered. This Jets defense is legit. It is seriously good. This defense is so good. Zach Wilson outplayed Mahomes. That is how good this defense is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, Mahomes is just a
He
bum.
doesn't-
That's exactly why I have the Jets winning. Going
into this season, I said to myself, will Aaron Rodgers really make this team a contender? Now that I see this team, they are Super Bowl bound if Aaron Rodgers was healthy this year. They would make the fucking Super Bowl. This defense
They
is so
probably
good.
still will.
He could.
I think if Aaron Rodgers comes back, they could certainly make the Super Bowl. If he doesn't, they will make the Super Bowl.
So hold on.
If he
We
does.
got to backtrack here. AJ, so you are saying the Giants would beat a Super Bowl contender?
Only because rivalry week. I think. Also, I have to take the Giants. If we were playing the Chiefs this week, I'd say we'd win.
I picked the Rams to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I can't hate. I
exactly.
picked the Rams to beat the Cowboys. We won't.
James,
The Rams are
James is about to pick the
bit.
Commanders to beat the Eagles. So
We took him to overtime last time. It's not that ridiculous to say.
All right.
What do you guys think about Nikola Jokic?
First
Number
of all,
7. He's all right.
James,
What?
who have you got? It's Giants.
The Jets, their defense too good. And I see a lot of Zach Wilson hate. I think he's on his way up.
it's deserved hate. He's on his way
That's
up.
fair.
but
He'll
it's
be.
deserved
I
hate.
think he can improve to. I think he can possibly improve to be mid at least.
I would
He has
just like
Aaron
to point
Rodgers.
out- I would just like to point out, Zach Wilson last game threw 0 touchdowns and they beat the Eagles. That's how good this defense is. He doesn't have to do anything. He could be
Okay, but
not good.
also, he has Aaron Rodgers in his corner, literally speaking over his shoulder into his ear, a mini guy on his thing. So
He
on his shoulder.
also has a really good.
He's only gonna improve. He's only gonna
He
improve.
doesn't need to. He has a good defense and a good running back room.
He hasn't thrown a touchdown in 2 weeks.
Yeah, because his running
I don't
back
care,
room is
Jay.
also
That's what-
insane.
I've got the Jets
That's not
beating
what I'm
the
saying.
Giants 17-3. And Both those touchdowns are a pick six and a fumble six.
Wow. You think there will be 0 offensive touchdowns this game?
I don't think Tyrod Taylor will throw a pick six. I think he's a little too careful for that because he is a vet. He knows how to throw
He'll
the
just
football.
fumble it twice.
No, I don't think he will fumble
Saquon's
it.
gonna fumble it.
I think they'll throw it to like some random bummy receiver and he'll fumble it, or they simply won't be able to drive down the field. I think it's more of a matter of
Last week,
AJ, who's the Giants wide receiver one?
Slayton?
oh no.
Honestly, I couldn't
Incoming
fucking
fumble.
tell you.
That's honestly worse than the Chiefs somehow.
Like,
No, it's
it
not.
should be.
No, it's not.
If they used him correctly,
Smasher.
Smasher.
it would be Jalen Hyatt. But they don't use him correctly. So it's not.
Yeah, well, he
Rasheed
had 2
Rice
receptions.
fed off.
Didn't he have 2 receptions last
Yeah,
game?
for 75 yards.
So
he's a pure deep threat. That's gonna be his stat line every game. He's just like shitty
Jaguars.
Jameson Williams.
Jaguars Steelers.
Yeah, you
I want to hear what you guys have to say because I don't know if what I'm picking is an upset or not.
I'm a big fan of the Jaguars, man.
This was the hardest 1 o'clock game slot for me to pick. I was going back and forth a lot on this, and I ultimately settled on the Jags. I think TJ Watt is gonna get at least a sack, but I think the Jags squeak out a win here.
Huh?
I also have the Jags winning. I have the Jags winning 21-14. I watched the Steelers play the Rams last week. The Rams are not as good as the Jaguars, and the Rams would have won if our kicker didn't suck. So I think the Jags will win. Jags defense is better than the Rams defense. The Jags offense is better than the Rams offense. And the Steelers, they just came off a nice win. You know, they're coming off 2 back-to-back wins. We got to remember, this is still the team that lost by 24 to the Texans. Like,
I think
they can string together a couple wins. They're going to go like 9-8, and they're going to be happy about it.
I think the Jags and Rams offense are a lot closer than you think they are. I don't think Trevor is necessarily that much better than Stafford. And
His O-line is so much better than Stafford's defensive line.
But everything outside of that is pretty comparable.
ETN might be the second best running back in football.
So I'm guessing, James, you picked
Tyron
the Jags.
died.
Yeah, I think they're a pretty good team this season. Not pretty good, very good. Let me correct that. Very good, actually. I like everything they're doing. I especially like that Etienne guy, bro.
ETN.
I thought that my pick was controversial, and I was right. I have the Steelers winning this game.
Based
I have
on
their
what?
defense being
Based on
slightly.
what?
I have their defense just being too good. The Jags have looked patchy at best. The Steelers, I don't know. There's some feeling inside of me that I've got the Steelers winning this one.
I respect
Didn't you say you
Go
like
against
Kenny
the Browns.
Pickett or whatever his name is?
Pickett's ass, but like,
However,
This game is going to be a Christian Kirk masterclass. Calvin really is not going to do a thing.
he never does it.
It's gonna happen again.
for fantasy
And Aiden's
purposes, I hope
Aiden
that
might kill
doesn't
himself.
happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna happen.
All right. So our next game is Eagles Commanders. James, you will be the only person here picking the Commanders. Explain why they'll win.
I think you're wrong about that.
I got the Commanders winning. Every time there's a divisional game, you never know what's going to happen. And it's a big rival.
Yes, Smasher?
Yeah, Smash in your fucking Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, dick riding gear. The fucking Commanders are going all the way. You better believe it. Brian Robinson is a menace. Scary Terry, a menace. Sam Howell,
Sam Howell
be
is
a
about to
menace.
be sacked the most times in a season ever.
No, they're gonna have it fixed by next week, by this Sunday, I guess now. But
They're not going to have it fixed against
Listen
the best
to me.
defensive line in the league.
Listen to me.
no,
Listen
they're not
to
even
me.
the best defensive time.
Listen to me. Divisional game. All right.
Divisional game is
Divisional
right.
game. All right.
Divisional game is
Commanders
right.
Have a chance, but I lied. I did pick the Eagles.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but last season,
I lied. I picked the Eagles.
correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the Commanders that ended the Eagles' undefeated season
Yeah, it
last
was.
year, right? In
It was.
overtime.
I think the Commanders have a legitimate chance. It's a divisional game. The Commanders somehow know how to beat the Eagles. They beat them last year when they were better, and
Took them to overtime already this year. Took them to overtime already this year.
Took them to overtime. The Commanders know what to do, and as I said with the Lions last week, and y'all didn't go with me, it's hard to win in the National Football League. It is hard to win. They're 6-1. They're gonna lose eventually. They already lost to the Jets. Anything can happen.
They came off a HUD win.
Recent enough that I think they're fine.
They came off a HUD win against a good Dolphins team last week. I do believe that the Commanders actually have a shot at winning this game.
Yeah. Come on now.
Now, I'd like to preface this. I think the Eagles will win, but I think it'll be closer than everybody expects.
I think this will be the upset of the week.
Possibly overtime.
I think this will be the upset of the week. Commanders W.
Eagles defensive line
of the
is
week.
The best. Defensive line is the best in the league.
The Commanders have the Eagles number.
Smasher, if their defensive line is just gonna pummel Washington, then why did 5 sacks against Washington still send them into overtime? If those sacks were just so prevalent,
Because
they went to overtime.
The Washington O-line's gotten even worse somehow.
They gave up
Jalen
5
Carter's
sacks.
developed a bit more. I think this could be
It's
a
been
7
3
or an 8
games.
sack
He's
game.
not any better than he was 3 games ago.
I have the Eagles dominating this one. I have them winning by at least 2 touchdowns. Sirianni's not going to let them lose to the Commanders twice.
Can have that opinion.
They didn't lose to the Commanders. They tied. They almost lost to the Commanders. It's a difference.
The next game, I'm hoping this is an easy one. Texans-Panthers. I'm gonna take Chiefs gear off. I am a fucking massive CJ Stroud dick rider. I fucking love CJ Stroud. I think he's the best rookie of this class. Easily.
Yeah.
The Texans win this game very easily. Comfortably. 20-point win.
I think you're wrong. I think they'll win. 20 points is too much. 20 points is
too much.
They won't win by 20 points because they won't have to win by 20 points. The offense is just going to slow down in like the fourth quarter. I could see the Panthers scoring garbage time touchdowns like they have a tendency to do. 20 points is a little bit much. We've seen CJ Stroud, his last 2 games, has been worse. He hasn't been bad, but he's been worse than he has been. Just because he doesn't really needed to do that much. And especially against we forget, the Saints almost came back and beat them because CJ Stroud wasn't very good that game. He wasn't great.
Ooh.
And we'll see what happens. I think they win, but 20 points is a little much. I think the Panthers are hungry. I think they're hungry for a win, and I think they're going to be I think they're going to be hard to put down this week. But
I think they're really hungry, but I think they're going to keep starving.
I don't think the Panthers are as bad as everybody.
I believe they'll keep starving too, but
I don't think the Panthers are as bad as everybody makes them out to be. They're
0-6.
Yes, but for
the record, their schedule has not been easy.
Finish exactly. They have had a hard opening schedule. They've lost to the Dolphins, the Lions, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Saints, and the Falcons.
Okay, the Saints are not great. The Falcons aren't great.
They lost to the Saints by a field goal.
Yeah, exactly. That's a game they should have won.
They are not a better team than the Saints. They should not have won that game.
No, but the Saints are awesome.
Yeah, but the Panthers might be worse.
Like, they've had a hard opening schedule.
Yeah, it's about time they get a win.
I know I said
any game, it's this one. But I still think
I said Commanders Eagles upset of the week. This might be.
I don't think this is as big as an upset.
I don't think the Panthers will win, but I think the Texans win by less than a touchdown.
I think the Panthers win on
I have 14-20 here. I think 14-20 would be probably a likely.
How do you see them getting to 20? Do you see them missing an extra point or getting there some like
the Texans?
2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Two
what kind of,
touchdowns,
like,
2 field goals. 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
Okay.
I've got Panthers winning this with
I think
like
that's pretty
a
realistic.
50-yard field goal as time expires. That's how the Panthers win this game.
Can Eddie
That's a
Tinier
bold
even hit
prediction.
a
I
50-yard
think you've
field
made that
goal?
exact same
Yeah,
prediction before.
I don't think
Who's
I
the
have.
kicker?
I think you definitely
He
have.
can hit. He hit a 56-yarder against the Vikings,
Yeah.
so he can do it.
And they lost.
50-yard field goal to win this game by the
Yeah, but
Panthers.
he can hit a
No.
50-yard field goal.
Adam Thielen.
CJ Stroud, masterclass,
Yo.
Texans win.
No.
So is that, James, did you put in your pick?
Texans are gonna win.
Alright.
Even though I've just been arguing the Panthers the entire time, I still think the Texans are gonna win.
My entire argument is just it'll be closer than Smasher thinks it will be, but I think the Texans will still win.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think as the season goes on, the Panthers are going to get harder and harder to beat. And I think, I mean, damn, they're going to win eventually. This team
Honestly,
is
I
not
think
bad
if the
enough to go
Panthers-
0-16.
I think if the Panthers get a
0-17.
win, it's going to be against a really good team. I kind of see them upsetting someone like,
That could happen.
I don't know what their schedule is, but I haven't. Oh, they almost beat the Dolphins. They went
the
well at
record-
the start.
For the record, Bryce Young could just randomly break out. He could just do that. It could
Trevor
just
Lawrence
happen
moment?
at any point. Like it could
Trevor
just
Lawrence
happen at any
moment?
point. He could pull a Trevor Lawrence where he's not good his rookie year and then just becomes a god.
Well, the next game is the Browns Seahawks. I don't know if I don't know if my pick is controversial or not, so I'm gonna let you guys go first.
I think we'll be split here.
You go first.
I think we'll be split.
I thought this one would be not that controversial, but go ahead,
James,
Smasher.
you go first.
Why you make me go for? Go first, Smasher. Let's hear your pick.
I think I've got the Browns. All right, I've got the fucking Browns winning this because I think their defense is too good, and I think they'll outlast them and outwill them, and I've got the Browns winning
I
this.
also have the Browns
Broden have-
for the exact
I
same
also have the
reason.
Browns.
I also have the
Okay.
Browns.
I
Yeah,
thought we'd be
exactly.
split.
Moron.
I thought this was a fucking split game.
Yeah, I
God
thought at
damn.
least one of us would pick
No.
the Seahawks.
Hell no.
No, I believe in my heart that the Browns defense is better than the 49ers defense. I think it's the best defense in the league. I think it is
What?
the best defense in the league.
What do you think? Do you think the Jets is third?
I think they certainly. I do. The Jets could be in an argument for second best defense in the league.
Eagles, Jets.
Eagles.
32nd best
Eagles.
defense in the league, especially when they're playing the
32nd.
Commanders.
32nd.
Come on
I
now.
mean, you never know about the Commanders,
All
but
right,
I think
well-
the Browns. I think Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in football. I think he's the best defensive player in football. I think
won't
he's
argue
in
that.
the zone. I think this is the season
It is not a
where
giant.
he proves himself. I think this is the season where he proves himself. He's already proving himself. He's got freaking like. Let me check the stats. He's got 7.5 sacks already. He's good. He's really good.
Right.
And people forget that they have JOK, they have Denzel Ward, they have Grant Delpit, they have Zadarius Smith, they have Greg Newsome. This defense is stacked full of
I
talent.
was reading the depth chart.
Yes.
It is stacked
Straight off
full
of
of
Real.
talent. You cannot
Not
argue
sponsored
that
by
there's
Real,
no
but yes,
talent
depth
on
chart
this
straight
team.
off of Real.
Dude,
Well,
it's a good
the
defense.
next game, Chiefs Broncos. We always dominate the Broncos. The Broncos are gone again. Thank you, Chiefs. 10 points. Sloppy-ish again. 5 of us winning by 10.
Broncos country, let's ride. Come on now. The Russell Wilson comeback game right here. He's dropping 50 on the Chiefs, and Mahomes is going to absolutely suck.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You know what? Taylor Swift's album "Sucking Ass" is a testament to Kelsey gonna suck ass this week, and therefore,
Okay, we
Yep.
can't say
I don't
AJ, you're going to get us cancelled.
good.
AJ, you're going to get us cancelled.
I'm gonna get all the Swifties pissed, and they're gonna come look at this video.
All right, I guess I have a controversial pick. I have the Chiefs over the Broncos. I have the Chiefs winning 42-15.
No, look, I still have the Chiefs.
I think
I still have the Chiefs.
I think
but
I think the Broncos, they score a touchdown, they go for 2 and they get it. That's why I think they have 15.
okay.
Why would they go for 2 if they're down?
Because they're gonna
Instead of the
because
Broncos.
every team goes
Because
for 2 and
Sean
they're down by
Payton
that
does
much.
wacky shit.
Listen, I
They would-
think
they would go for
Chiefs
2, I think.
win, and I think it's. I don't think it's more than like 2 touchdowns at most. Because we like to keep our divisional matchups where we dominate them, but like we don't really dominate them points wise.
Dominate them
We
yardage
just
wise,
kinda-
but not point wise.
Yes. We stop them on defense. We dominate them. Our defense is dominant. Our offense is all right, and we just kind of keep them in check, and Bruce will win.
Yeah.
James, please say you pick the Chiefs. James.
Well, let's go to the next game on this one.
No, you're fucking
James.
saying your
Yo,
pick.
James, is this your upset of the week?
I think every pick I've had is an upset of the week, but I'll go with the Chiefs just because they are the better team. I do want the Broncos to win very badly, though. I think
Everybody wants the Broncos to win. Everybody wants the Broncos to win.
Yeah, I always want the
Smasher,
Chiefs to lose.
do you know what I would do to you if you guys lost to the Broncos?
Fuck Ross.
I would flame you for a decade. Even if you won a Super Bowl, I'd still flame you about losing to the Broncos.
If the Broncos
we
win
have lots
this,
of Broncos in like 10 years
if
now.
the Broncos win this game, are we all buying Broncos gear to wear next week?
I will.
I got a semi Broncos color shirt on right now.
I will buy a Jerry Jeudy jersey.
Next game,
Yes.
I think we can get this summary done in 20
I won't
seconds.
do
for the
that.
Next game.
Otherwise, I
10
won't do
seconds.
that. Don't hold me.
I
to
think we can get the summary done for this game in 5
Cardinals
seconds.
win.
Ravens Cardinals.
I think I have the Ravens winning 31-17.
No, the Ravens win easily.
31-17 Ravens.
Comfortable.
Ravens.
Time for another upset of the week. No, I'm
Ravens
kidding. I also
domination.
have the Ravens winning this
Yeah,
one.
Ravens domination.
Ravens all expected. The next game, Raiders Lions on Monday Night Football.
You skipped a
No.
couple games.
I'm taking.
Oh, you skipped Bears
Come on,
Chargers.
skip.
You also skipped Bengals
And-
Niners.
You did do that.
Damn, this guy stinks. This job.
This guy does stink. Smasher, you're a moron. Okay, let's go over our picks for
Bengals, Niners.
Bengals Niners. I personally picked the Bengals to beat the 49ers
Give me a page on
35-22. What do you think, AJ? Who do you think is going to win this game?
Bengals are coming off of a 2-game win streak. Niners are coming off of a 2-game losing streak. The Bengals have momentum coming into this game. I've got the Bengals.
Bengals also had a bye,
Yeah.
so the Bengals are going to be fresh.
Yep. 2-game win streak and a bye. The Niners just had a upset against the Vikings, and then another loss the week before that. I've got
And Brock Purdy might not play.
yeah, and Brock Purdy's got a fucking concussion. I've got
That might be better for them. I don't like Brock Purdy.
I've got the Bengals winning this
Well,
game.
Sam Darnold is pretty bad, dude.
Sam Darnold is
I'll be
Maybe
honest.
not. Maybe he's better than Brock.
James, what's your pick?
I got the Bengals winning as well.
Sma-
I'm going to go
Dude,
against the grain, and I'm going to say the Niners. I
Well, that's because you
think
hate Joe
CMC.
Burrow.
I think CMC. No,
Go Shiesty.
I like the
Come
Bengals.
on.
I think the Bengals are alright, but I think the Niners. I think we're hating on the Niners. I know they lost 2 in a row, but like they've still got CMC.
Momentum means a
And
lot.
The Bengals
really
have
good
Jamar
defense.
Chase. Did you not see
And they've
Addison
got
rip a
fucking-
pick out of a Niners corner's hand? What is Jamar Chase going to do to their corners? He might go for
I think
200
they're
yards.
fine.
Need 'em.
Listen, they're fine. The Niners
They're not
win this.
good. They're not good. You could ask
The
any
Niners
Niner
are
fan in the
fine.
world. Their corners are not that good.
I'm not saying their corners are fucking not good, but I think they're fine and they'll win it.
I put
I've
up
got
200
the
yards on the Niners corners.
I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins combined for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I think CMC
3
gets
touchdowns.
250 yards with a throwing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown.
Okay, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard you say. That's not.
He could do it.
Yeah,
No,
he
I've
said
heard him
all
say a lot of
wrong.
stupid shit. That's not even on the top 10
Yeah.
list.
He will not do that. The last time he did that was against the Rams last year. This is a much
yeah.
better team than the last year's Rams.
I've got them winning. Bears Chargers. I think we can comfortably. Honestly, Chargers haven't been great, but like it's the Bears without Fields. I've got the Chargers
I know.
winning this. They might be, but
What is
they're
bro
not.
cooking up
So,
there? Aiden, what do you
I'm
got?
cooking up something crazy right
Aiden,
now.
what you got? Bears,
Oh.
Bears 24-21.
What FT? What does Rick have?
Bears 27-10. I think they blow them out.
Wow.
I think they blow them out.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think Tyson Badgett plays well enough, but I think Deontay Foreman and Roshan Johnson run for 250 plus yards combined.
Okay.
I think the Bears defense is gonna be better. And damn, has Justin Herbert not been good recently?
You know, we talked
He's
about
just not been good.
You gotta admit
we
that.
talked about Josh Allen being
He's not
overrated.
there.
I also believe Justin Herbert is one of the most overrated
I don't
quarterbacks.
think Justin Herbert's overrated anymore. People are starting to hate on him as much as they should be.
Okay. I don't know. I still don't see a lot of Justin Herbert.
Coming in
hate.
the season, he was overrated as fuck. But like,
Listen. Justin Herbert in his last 3 games, all right, 167 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns. 167 yards is not good, but they were playing the Raiders, so that was enough to win. Didn't actually matter. The game after that, 227 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception in a loss to the Cowboys. Last game, 259, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in a loss to the Chiefs. It's not been going good recently for him. I think he keeps up his form. I think they struggle. I think they lost. But I do think next week they'll probably bounce back. Next game, whenever they play next.
Do I-
Yeah, they play the Jets on Monday Night Football. I think they'll win that game somehow. I think they'll find a way to win that game.
Do I believe that Justin Herbert is overrated? Yes. Do I believe the Chargers are going to win this game? Yes.
yeah.
I don't know about
Chargers.
Tyson Badgett, the GOAT. Yeah, I don't know about him.
James,
Game
who you got?
manager.
I gotta agree with Aiden. I think he cooked up something wonderful here.
Listen, I think this is probably the most likely to be an upset on the week, but I've still got the Chargers. I think 8.5 spread I'm seeing here for the Chargers. I honestly think
The Bears
Take
will
the
cover
Bears to
that.
cover
The
that.
Bears will cover that.
I think if the Chargers are winning, it's only by like 7 or 3. I think that could be a decent line. Missing their wide receivers and all. But Monday Night Football now that I've fucking gotten through those two. Raiders Lions.
Lions.
Raiders
I
without Jimmy
gotta-
G by the looks
I
of it.
got a bounce back game for the Lions. I got them winning 35-7.
Yep.
I think the Lions are coming off a tough loss. I don't think Dan Campbell's the type of coach to roll over and die. I think he's going to come up swinging, and I think they're going to kill this Raiders team.
I completely agree.
Real.
Lions domination.
I agree too.
They've got something more like possibly like 42-14 or 49-14. I could see the Lions try and run up the scoreboard to try and make up for that embarrassing loss last week.
And this is 35-7 is my prediction if David Montgomery doesn't play. If David Montgomery does play, 42-7.
They're hitting 50.
I think
They're breaking
Jameer
50.
Gibbs could have another masterclass.
He could. He's a good player.
Even if Monty's back, I think Jameer Gibbs still gets like 7-8 receptions and is pretty good in that receiving
Yeah.
game.
No.
Yeah.
No, Dan Campbell. Dan. That's not the way Dan Campbell runs his offense. As soon as Monty's back, he's going to fall down to earth because that's not how Dan Campbell runs his offense. Because Dan Campbell.
Campbell's a retard that doesn't care about my
Freaking-
fantasy team.
Fuck your fantasy team,
Moron.
Smasher.
You moron. Smasher, you moron.
Alright,
Can't see these things on the air.
James,
Yeah.
who have you got?
I already said I agree with Aiden on this one. The Lions comeback victory. I think it was pretty humiliating, at least especially that first half against the Ravens last week. So I think they come out and try and prove something, and I think they do prove it.
All right. Well, that's our NFL for the week. Do we want to move on to the NBA? Because
Oh, I think we
NBA
should.
obviously NBA
How many
tipped
days
off
are in?
Tuesday. Third day today. Third day. Every team has played a game. The Lakers and the Suns have played 2 games. First of all, the games today. The Lakers beating the Suns 100-95 with a LeBron and AD masterclass.
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Easy
I don't think
throwing around
LeBron
the
looked
word
that good in the
masterclass.
first half. Yeah,
I
it was not
think-
a.
Them combined were really good.
Yeah, they were. I wouldn't consider. I think AD played well, but LeBron did not put on a masterclass. That fourth quarter, I think you could consider something close to a masterclass. I think he performed very well in the fourth quarter, but that first half, I think he was 4 for 11 coming into the fourth quarter. So that
but
like,
it's not just the points.
well, it's
8
obviously not
rebounds,
just
9 assists, 2 steals,
I
2
said
blocks.
I wouldn't
coming
call it
into
a
the fourth
masterclass.
quarter. I said.
LeBron James played a very good game. 2 steals, 2 blocks, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. He was plus 22 on the night. He played a very good game without shooting that well, which is what you want to see from LeBron James.
Just let
5
me suck
turnovers
off Lil
isn't
Daddy.
great. 5 turnovers isn't great, but he was plus 22 on the night, so clearly those turnovers weren't that impactful.
Just let me be happy and suck off the daddy.
One thing I would like to bring up here is
KD's right.
KD on the Suns on the other side of things, 8 turnovers. But I would like to mention I don't think that was his fault at all. I think the Suns, they just looked inexperienced out there. KD was trying to pass to guys where they should be, and they were cutting in when KD's trying to pass to the perimeter. And it happened so many times, especially in the fourth quarter where they needed to score. It was ridiculous. I felt bad for KD. I think they probably should have won that game.
KD still ended up putting the team on his back and scoring 39 in 39 minutes. And they still lost.
Kevin Durant is really good. I think this goes to show that the Suns' depth isn't good as we all thought it would be. They weren't very good. Eric Gordon was minus 27 on the night. Yuta Watanabe was minus 14 on the night. They need Beal and Booker to be healthy. I have confidence that Booker will be healthy. I have no confidence in Beal's health.
I don't think even if they are healthy, that lack of depth, they aren't going to get far in the playoffs if they even make it. I don't want to say they're not going to make it to the playoffs. I think they'll make it to the playoffs, but I don't consider them a contender for a title.
Well, I think they make trades at the deadline to try and improve this. But if they don't, if they stay as they are now, I agree with you, James. I don't think second round max. Yeah. There's teams out there that are just better depth-wise. But I would like to give a shout-out to Yusuf Nurkic, who has so far through 2 games outperformed who they traded him for. Ayton has been awful. He scored 4 points in his Blazers debut. And Nurkic, although he hasn't been scoring as much, he's grabbing boards. He's getting steals and blocks. He was only a -5 on the night. They lost by 5. When you see some of the plus minuses there, it was Eric Gordon's fault with
27
-27 on the night.
Yeah, not good from him.
So yeah. I think the shout out to Nurkic. I think he's a really good player. But Josh Okogie was nice for them. KD had to carry. Reeves wasn't too great for the Lakers, but everyone was shit for the Lakers. Everyone was shit for the Lakers except AD and LeBron, who played really good games, showing. Gabe Vincent was all right. Gabe Vincent got 3 steals and was pretty good on that.
He bricked 5 threes, though. Which
all right, fucking Heat fan.
He has these nights, dude. He has random nights where he sucks. And he's not good.
I don't know. Tonight wasn't too bad. Plus 13, 3 steals, 6 assists.
You know who did not play well?
Like, he needs to make his shots.
I thought Prince would have, based on...
He only played 18 minutes.
Yeah, but in 18 minutes, what did he do? 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. Yeah, -15.
1 steal.
That is an awful performance right there.
I would like to say...
What was doing cardio out there?
This is something I said in the last episode. I said Christian Wood was shit and he's not a good bench piece. I'd like to take that back. Christian Wood is a pretty good bench piece for the Lakers.
On the night.
He wasn't good shooting, but he got a lot of boards. Yeah,
I think he could be a good defensive player for them.
That's his job.
Yeah, defending KD, especially in the fourth quarter, I think he looked pretty good out there.
So yeah, I would like to say sorry to Lakers fans and Christian Wood. He's a good piece. I think he's a pretty good piece. The next game today.
No. This is me. This is me right here. I gotta talk about this game. Bucks Sixers. Rightful Heat player Damian Lillard had a very good game. The Bucks are going to be very good this year. As I said, I think they'll be the 2 seed because I just think they won't play that many games together. But together, they're deadly. I think Lillard was very good at getting to the free throw line. He was very good at hitting his free throws. Giannis, he was fine. He missed his free throws. He had 7 turnovers. He didn't play that well. There's one thing that concerns me with the Bucks, though. How the hell do you let Tyrese Maxey and Kelly Oubre combine for 58 points? They have no defense for anybody who plays the guard position. No one plays any defense. Yeah. Which is going to be a problem.
You know what? It won't
be that much of a problem, to be honest. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be very good.
They could really use a good defensive guard like Drew Holiday. He could really improve this.
Yeah, he could really make the difference.
I think the Bucks are better off with Dame than Drew Holiday, of course. But they need somebody who can guard a guard. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if Tyrese Maxey and Kelly Oubre, Lillard and Giannis combined for 62 points, Maxey and Oubre combined for 58. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Well,
they need
it was a pretty down
better.
game for Giannis. Giannis had a down game, and Dame had a fucking free throw merchant game. He was brilliant at driving to the basket, which was good. And even not driving to the basket, a lot of those free throws were just from people fouling him on 3-point shots because he's just so good.
Yeah, I can see this team struggling to play against elite guards. Low key, that 3-guard lineup, man. they might be onto something. They might cook the Bucks.
I would like to say the starting lineup for the Bucks. You can see basically when the starting lineup was on the floor, you had Dame at a +12, Jay Crowder at a +11, Brook Lopez at a +11, Chris Middleton at a +14, Giannis at a -13.
My question for Giannis Antetokounmpo is, why is he taking 3 threes and not hitting any of them? That is
because he's not a 3-point shooter.
His 3-point obsession.
Yeah, I know he's not a 3-point shooter. That's why I'm asking the question.
Like,
I was watching the game. And he took a 3. I was like, what are you doing?
He's trying to hit his line. His line is half a 3-pointer. He's trying to shoot for the betters, and he's failing miserably.
Yeah, but at least we know when you see someone like Giannis play bad, you know that he's going to bounce back, so it's not as big of a deal as if someone else had played bad.
Hey, this isn't Giannis' team anymore.
I think the biggest reason
Danny shares
won
it
is because Embiid did not play very well. I think if Embiid has an Embiid game, which we know he can have, I think the Sixers would have a legitimate chance at beating the Bucks.
40 and 20 fucking masterclass.
And we don't know what's going on with Harden. If Harden comes back, I could see Harden cooking the Bucks. I could see it happening. He's still one of the better guards in the NBA, I think. He's got really good passing ability. He has those nights where he can still score 40 as much as he could ever want to. I think the Sixers showed me something tonight, that despite the fact that Embiid didn't play that well, they got some players.
Especially Patrick Beverley.
Well, the big thing is we need to, obviously, because there's so much NBA, we'll need to make sure we run through it quickly. The recap of Wednesday's games, because that was the big slate where we had almost everyone play. First off, we had the Clippers at the Portland Trailblazers. Paul George, 27, 3 and 6 with 3 steals. Kawhi, 23, 5 and 6 with a steal and a block. Russell Westbrook, 11, 5 with 13 assists. Their entire starting lineup was the worst. They had Paul George +23, Kawhi at +25, Ross at +30, Zubac at +25, Covington at +26. When those Clippers starters are on the floor, they are dominant.
Oh yeah,
they need to worry about the depth.
I think this was the classic case of you didn't get anything good for Dame. You didn't get a single good player for Damian Lillard. There was not one player you got for Dame who was good this game.
Don't shit on Brogdon.
He was -5. They weren't good when he was on the floor. He was fine.
-5 when they lose by 10 isn't awful, though.
But, like, Robert Williams was -23. Ayton had 4 points. Like they didn't get anything substantial for Damian Lillard, and they're going to regret it. They are going to regret it.
And obviously Scoot made his rookie debut. He wasn't great, but it's Scoot. I don't take much out. I'd rather I like to give a rookie at least a month of performances until I even start commenting on them.
I think this is going to be very indicative of who Scoot is. I think he'll be very good most nights, but I think this is definitely a possibility that could happen to him. I don't think he'll ever be that consistent just because of the way he plays, but I think he'll be like a boom or bust type point guard. He's either going to drop a triple-double or he's going to drop like 11, 3, and 4 like he did today.
My hot take is that his ceiling for me and who I think he will become is Donovan Mitchell.
I think it's Russell Westbrook.
More Russell than...
Everyone talks about Russell Westbrook for the comparison. Everyone talks about, I don't think he gets the rebounds that Russ does. I don't think he'll even get the assists that Russ does. I think he's more of a Donovan Mitchell type because he is just scoring.
Pure scorer.
And he's pretty good on defense. Like, he can play defense. He can get his steals. The next game, we had the Mavs coming back from a early disaster to end up beating the Spurs. Wembanyama's Spurs. The main thing about the game was Wembanyama's debut. It was good. There was moments.
That wasn't the main part of the game for me. The main part of the game was
it Luka getting his triple double?
Lively.
Derek Lively.
Derek Lively might.
He might be the real deal.
Again, this is exactly what Aiden said in the ranking video, where we did the NBA standings. If Derek Lively can become a good center for them, the Mavericks have a very good ceiling. The Mavericks could sneak into a playoff spot.
It could.
Because, Derek Lively, his stat line's pretty good. 16, 10, a steal and a block. His plus minus is 20.
And he was 87%.
Wembanyama in a game that they won by 7. That is really good. Luka had his 33, 13, 10, and 2 steals. He was great.
Very typical.
Kyrie was a bit off, but
I
they trade.
If Kyrie, I think either Kyrie's going to have an on game or Luka's going to have an on game. I don't think you can both have an on game because they play the same position. I'm against this double point guard thing. It will not work. Another thing I have about this game is Wembanyama. You're the center. You're 7. How tall is he? 7'4"?
Yeah.
They don't have Wembanyama playing center. They have him at the power forward.
Still,
their starting center
power forward 7'4", 5 boards. You're getting outboarded.
I'm concerned about that.
I'm concerned about it.
He's got the other forwards on his team. Jeremy Sochan's a really good rebounder. He's a really good defensive tool. He's a bit like Rodman to me. He's just a defensive guy.
Rodman?
Who has some, listen, not like
I saw the hair.
Not like he is Rodman. Not he is Rodman, but like he gives off the similar vibe of he is a dog on defense. He gets in your face and he defends, and I really like him. Wembanyama getting 5 rebounds, that wasn't actually the biggest problem for me.
Was it the 5 turnovers or the 5 fouls?
The problem was the whole thing was that, but also the thing was. The point was he was supposed to be, because he's so big and nimble, he could go from the paint to the 3-point line quite easily. There was a lot of times where he got caught out and he couldn't get to the 3-point line to contest a shot, which led to some easy points. That's my biggest issue with him. More on his rebounding's fine, it's his defense.
I'm a little bit concerned with how he fits into this team. I don't know if his team really wants him to be the main person on offense, which is fine. That's whatever. But I don't know, he just wasn't he wasn't that involved. I feel like he should be more involved.
Well, they played him the 6th most minutes on the team.
Yeah, but he only took 9 shots. He needs to be shooting.
Yeah,
he was efficient. He was 3 of 5 from 3.
The 6th most minutes on the team when you're only playing 23 minutes, and he scored 15 on 23 minutes. He was quite efficient.
He had a plus minus of 0, which I think sums up his debut very well. It was pretty mid.
Yeah.
I think a plus minus of 0 sums it up.
He was probably one. He was one of the better players on the Spurs, but it's the Spurs.
Yeah, he did not put up the LeBron James 26, 5 and 5 debut.
I mean, yeah, we kind of expected that. At least sane people expected that.
Yes.
The next game, we've got the Kings beating the Jazz 130 to 114. Harrison fucking Barnes. He was on fire. 33 points.
5 for 7 on threes.
5 for 7 on threes. He was really good. And my shout out is to Jordan Clarkson for the Jazz. They lost, but 24, 4 and 6, only a -4. He shot pretty efficiently. I think he's a really good guard. I think he's really underrated.
Sabona
double. I think he's a good player.
This might be a very hot take, but I think he could average. I think he could be an all-star. I think Lauri Markkanen isn't. I don't think Lauri Markkanen's as good as he will be last year, and I think he takes the Lauri Markkanen taking all the shots type of role. I think he could be a fringe all-star.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Jordan Clarkson, Laurie Markkinen, and John Collins are all going to shoot a lot of shots every game. It's going to happen. I think it's going to fluctuate every game. I think John Collins was also very good this game. I think it's going to fluctuate. I don't see it being that consistent.
Well, we had the next game, the Pelicans beating the Morantless Grizzlies, which they will be for 40 games.
40.
111. Is it 40?
I thought it was like 25.
25. It's 25.
25. Oh, that's enough. 111 to 104. CJ McCollum scored 24. Zion came back and actually looked decent on offense, but he did not defend well.
No.
Who cares? He's Zion Williamson. Go do a fancy dunk.
Valanciunas was really good as a center. He had 12 and 12. He was he played his role. I would like to give a shout out to my Aussie goat, Dyson Daniels, in 18 minutes, putting up 6, 5, 2 steals, and a block on good shooting. I think he is that sort of guy who can be a Swiss Army knife off the bench and do it, cover anyone, be that kind of guy that's going to come in and do his role. I watched him a lot when he was playing over here in Australia, and then when he went over and played for G League Ignite. I think he has the potential to be that sort of Swiss Army. I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar in this league, but I think he can be a really good role player for a championship team.
I'm angry we didn't get to see the Heat legend Cody Zeller play.
Cody Zeller.
Very angry about that. Cody Zeller is literally the GOAT.
Bain, that's another guy I have potentially getting an all-star nod. Desmond Bain, because he's just going to keep without Ja for these first games.
I think when you look at the Grizzlies lineup, you can tell there's something missing. You can tell there's a star missing.
Ja.
You can tell he's missing. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. had a very Jaren Jackson Jr. type of game. I think he's become one of the most. I think he's become one of the most. I think he's become one of the most overrated players in the league. I don't think he's that good. He got exposed at the FIBA World Cup. He cannot play the center. He is a defensive power forward who sometimes can shoot threes. He's a worse Kristaps Porzingis. That's what he is. He got a fraud defensive player of the year for farming blocks. He was never the best defender in the league. Giannis was consistently a better defender than him last year. But since he didn't get a bunch of blocks, we give it to Jaren Jackson bum ass. Then gets bounced in the first round. He got bounced immediately. He got owned by Anthony Davis. He got owned.
When we're talking about fraud defensive guys that are overrated and defend and sometimes score. The Cavs beat the Nets 114 to 113. Evan Mobley. 10, 6, 2 blocks. And people were saying that he would be making the All-NBA jump this season.
I know it's only one game, but I don't see him taking that jump. Like, I think he's on a team that's not going to allow him to take a jump. Because is he seriously going to start scoring more than Garland, Strus, Donovan Mitchell? Like, no, he's never going to do that.
That's one thing I have to say. I just have to get ready for this. The Strus is officially loose in Cleveland.
He's loose.
My goodness.
He's loose.
He had that sort of game. He shot 9 total field goals. 7 of them were threes. He's just... The Strus is loose.
He didn't shoot 9 total. He made 9 total. He shot 17.
9 total, sorry. Made 9 total. Yeah. 7 of them were threes.
He ended up kind of slowing down towards the end of the game. He was really good in the second and third quarter. Fourth quarter was a little quieter. But as a Heat fan, Strus has these games every once in a while. He doesn't do this consistently. He's not that good. But every once in a while, the Strus gets loose and he's unstoppable. He's a better Gabe Vincent.
On the Nets side, Cam Thomas scored 36 points in 25 minutes.
He's a bucket. He's a bucket.
Didn't do much else other than that, but man, he is a bucket.
He's
and you got to talk about the guy everyone's been talking about, the Aussie legend, Ben Simmons.
The GOAT.
Everyone looked straight away at his points, 4 points. That is not good, obviously. He's still scared to shoot.
He only took 6 shots. Yeah, he's still scared to shoot.
He only took 6 shots. His 10 rebounds and 9 assists and a block. He's still not awful. He's still obviously overpaid, but People were saying he shouldn't be in the league.
He's an ideal role player. The issue is you'd get him on like a minimum contract. He's on $40 million.
Well, I don't think minimum. I think he's like a $10-12 million.
I think
a year player.
I think he'd be on a minimum contract. I really do think he would.
No, I think he's better than that.
We've seen players like Kelly Oubre, who averaged 20 points per game last year, sign a minimum contract. RJ Hampton, who was like a first-round pick, is on a two-way contract currently, even though he could be on a contract. He could be on a contract if he wanted to. He chose to be on a two-way contract. Kelly Oubre probably could have gotten more than a minimum.
Speaking of RJ Hampton and his new team, the Heat survived the Pistons 103 to 102. I'm letting the Heat fan take this one over.
Awful fourth quarter. I'm not a Heat fan, but
bad fourth quarter. Tyler Herro, when his shots don't fall, he sucks. He was better on defense. He was actually +6, which is better than Jimmy Butler and Bam was, which is funny because he's known to be not a good defender, but he had 3 steals and he was positive despite taking 24 shots and only hitting 7 of them. Jimmy Butler seemed kind of out of it. He wasn't very good at scoring. He got 13 rebounds and 2 steals. Bam was great. I really liked what I saw from Bam. 2 blocks, 22 points on only 13 shots. Got to the line, made his free throws, 8 rebounds. Kevin Love was good. Double-double Kevin Love. Duncan Robinson showed that he can still be good. Thomas Bryant was solid. Jaime Jaquez Jr. has never missed a shot in his NBA career. Caleb Martin's still hurt. Drew Smith, I never want to see him on my team ever again. He didn't even play bad. I just don't like him.
On the Pistons side, I'd just like to give my roses to 2 guys, which was the defensive front court for the Pistons. Both Duran and Stewart both got 14 boards each. Duran got 4 blocks, and I'm gonna say right now, this is Jalen Duran's coming out season. I feel like this is where people are gonna really learn his name. And I've been high on him ever since he was drafted. He is going to come out. Remember his name, Jalen Duran. He's not an all-star caliber guy, but I think he will prove himself as a top 5 center in the league.
Yeah. Thompson had a solid debut as well. 5 blocks for Thompson.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. That was massive. 5 blocks.
He didn't shoot well, but he's pretty raw. So
5 blocks.
5 blocks is good. 5 blocks is good. Anyway, let's move on.
We have the Raptors beating the Timberwolves. This was a bit of a game. It wasn't really. There's not many talking points except my main thing would be Rudy Gobert's looking like he's taking more shots, which is nice.
Number 1 player.
He's looking like he's actually. Yeah, he looks like he's not as scared to take shots anymore. And Anthony Edwards, 14 fucking rebounds somehow.
Bad shooting day, 26 points with 27 shots. I do think he is an all-star quite easily this season, though. He needs to be. If he's more efficient, he will be. So Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert shot more. Anthony Edwards might have shot too much. Cat made a 3 as time expired to kind of stat pad a little bit. He wasn't great. For the Raptors, OG Anunoby looked really great. Dennis Schroeder looks like he could be a real spark plug for this offense. Pascal Siakam is getting pretty old. Jakob Poeltl was fine. He didn't do that much.
Pascal is my number 1 contender. I think he gets traded at the deadline. I think he's the guy.
I think it's time to move on from him.
Hey, when is the Thunder Bulls game on the itinerary here? Because I'm excited for that game.
Yeah. So let's move on.
I've got words.
Let's move on to Hawks Hornets. The Hawks were interesting. Trae Young was very inefficient.
35 yards or 35 feet snipes.
Yeah, 35 feet snipes. A surprise performance.
Well, only one actually. He was 1 for 9.
Surprise performance from Jalen Johnson, 21-7, 2-2 with a block.
Listen, I like Jalen Johnson. But fuck, I didn't expect that. That was
He's good.
He did not shoot well. He was 1 for 9 from 3.
Top 9 player in the league.
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo's my actual
10 assists, but shot 26%.
LaMelo also didn't do well, AJ.
He wasn't very
first
efficient.
game of the season, that's okay.
Listen, when you look at the
double,
the Hornets, yeah, Yeah, but inefficient. The two greatest players on the Hornets for me were PJ Washington, who scored 25 points on 66% shooting, and Mark Williams, who grabbed 13 points, 15 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. He only took 6 shots, and
I really like Mark Williams. I think Mark Williams will be a very good starting center. I think he'll probably end up being a little bit better than DeAndre Ayton is. I think he's going to be very good.
I was going to say I was pretty low on him.
For him.
I think he could be a better Ivica Zubac type, where he's not scoring much, but when he's on defense, he's the sort of guy that could get fucking 30 boards in a game one night. He gets fucking boards.
He gets a lot of boards, and he's good on the inside. He gets blocks. He had a snatch block on Trae Young, and the Hornets announcer yelled out that he emasculated him. I mean,
I saw that. That might be one of the greatest blocks I've ever seen. That was basically just a steal.
Mark Williams is the real deal. He's real.
In the Wizards Pacers game, as we all expected, really, the Pacers.
Oh, no mention of Brandon Miller's debut?
Fuck no, bro. Well, I will mention it. Brandon Miller was bad, and I expected him to be bad.
And that's the end of that.
Yeah. He ended up being fine.
All right, next game.
he kind of stat padded towards the end. He wasn't good at the start. He heated up a little bit. He was efficient, but he was minus 13. He's not as good as where he was drafted, let's be honest. We knew he wasn't going to be. But the Hornets, Michael Jordan sucks.
Michael Jordan had a bet for him to go second.
The Pacers beat the Wizards 143 to 120. Give my roses again to Tyrese Halliburton, who I bet on, and put my bet out to Twitter for 10.5 assists. Got 11 for
Twitter.
Me. Go follow Bobbleheads Sports on Twitter. We give out picks. I went 4-0 today. Tyrese Halliburton. Right? Tyrese Halliburton put up 20 and 11. I think he's an all-star guy again.
Yeah,
he's one of the greatest.
Tyrese Halliburton.
He's a bit like a better Trae Young for me at the moment. Where
I wouldn't say bad. I don't think he's as good of a pure shooter.
Better playmaker.
He's a little bit better of a playmaker. I think he's a bit better of a defender. I think that's where he makes his mark. That he's not a terrible defender.
Trae Young can have a 50-point night. Halliburton's never having a 50-point night. That's not his.
Never say never.
Yeah, Trae Young will jack up as many shots as possible. Trae Young is what Tyler Harrell thinks he is.
Jordan Poole did exactly what we expected and tied the Wizards for the most shots taken with 18 and went 0 for 6 on threes.
Kyle Kuzma.
But Kyle Kuzma took the same amount of shots and was actually pretty efficient. 25 points, 50% shooting.
I'm telling you, I think Kyle Kuzma will be an all-star reserve this year. I think he's going to stat pad a lot. I think he's going to stat pad a lot. If he could average like 25, 5 and 5, which I think is very possible on this team, he could be an all-star.
This next game, and I'll have my
they'll
takes
be
right
empty
away.
Stats. They won't win anything. But
the Celtics beat the Knicks 108 to 104, and the Knicks were robbed.
Yeah,
the Knicks were robbed. Multiple bad referee calls at the end of that game, but we look past that. It happens in a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot of games that the Celtics are involved in. I've noticed.
Well, yeah. You are prepared for the Celtics to get calls when you go into the game against the Celtics. One of the reasons why the Miami Heat can beat the Celtics so much is the Miami Heat will just get more physical than the Celtics will be, and they'll just force the refs to basically start calling fouls on the freaking Celtics.
We had
the Heat are too physical.
We had 2 really good performances today, and probably 2 really bad performances on the Celtics. Out of their 4 star players, we had Tatum 34, 11, and 4 on 59% shooting. That's what you expect from Jason Tatum. That's just a good Jason Tatum game. That's about what I think he's going to average on the year. And I think, it's just
34 and 11.
Not 34, but I think he averages like 32 and 10.
Yeah, I could see that, to be honest.
I think he gets a lot more boards without Robert Williams there.
10 might be a little much.
No, I think he gets a lot of boards.
I think
10, I think it could be a little much. Definitely, I think he gets around 8.
I think he averages 31, 8, and 2.
Kristaps Porzingis also dropped a quick 30 bomb.
He was good.
shot over 50% from 3, 8 for 15 from the field, grabbed 8 boards, got himself 4 blocks. He's looking like who the Knicks wanted to draft. He's looking like an actual unicorn now.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting his blocks and that. I think he might end up being the second star.
I think this is a good example of what a good Porzingis game looks like. We all know Porzingis is not that consistent and he's pretty injury prone, but when he plays well, he plays very well. I think he will struggle when they play like Embiid because he won't be able to stop Embiid. Like, he doesn't have the defense to stop Embiid or Jokic or anything like that. They'll struggle then, but if he's playing like Mitchell Robb, he will bitch Mitchell Robb. Let's be for real.
Well, we also had Jaylen Brown getting paid $240 million to put up 11, 6, and 5 on bad shooting. And we had them trade for Drew Holiday to put up 9, 4, and 2 on bad shooting. So 2 of the stars hit, 2 of the stars don't.
Yeah.
It's basically what you expect. The Knicks, there's no real notable performances for them besides Quickly.
I have some notable performances. I got some notable performances. I'll like take a note, right, that everyone sucked. That everyone sucked. I'll like take a note that Julius Randle was so bad, right, that somebody joined a Twitter like talk show thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene in it and said he thought he heard the shooting in Maine, but it was just Julius Randle bricking. And I have the statistics up here right now. Julius Randle scored 14 points on 22 shots, so he was bricking. He was correct.
22% from the field.
Bro was building houses.
He literally built a house. I think I would have to disagree. I don't think the Knicks were robbed. I think the Knicks robbed themselves.
I think they should have been in a position to win that.
They shot 53% from the free throw line. They missed 12 free throws.
Wow.
If they make those, they win if they make those free throws.
Dame would never.
The next game was, again, this game's another one where there's not that many great performances in it. Magic beating the Rockets 116-86. I mean,
who cares?
Cole Anthony was good. Franz Wagner. Everyone had the bets on Franz Wagner's over 17.5. He got subbed out at 17. Everyone was pissed off. Then they found out that they had given a basket to his brother when it should have been him. So after the game, they upped it to 19 and everyone's bets cashed. So how did they make that mistake in the NBA? I don't fucking know.
I would like to talk about the Rockets. They're about who we expected them to be. Jalen Green had an off night, which he so often does. Jabari Smith wasn't great. Fred VanVleet was inefficient. They just kind of played like shit.
Dylan Brooks is still
I would like to say,
Dylan Brooks played good. Dylan Brooks played pretty good. He shot 71%.
I don't know that minus 15 said otherwise.
Yeah, but
Dylan Brooks, I don't think ever was ass.
Armin Thompson on debut. Do you just want to read out that plus minus for me?
Yeah, minus 34. Not good.
He was bad. Not good on defense.
Man.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Also showed his brother up. He
did.
Paid better with those 5 blocks. Now we go, and this is where I have to go on a little bit of a rant. The Thunder beating the Bulls by 20 points, 124 to 104.
Suck.
I have a rant for it. Not a rant,
obviously, I've been a Bulls fan for about 14 years now. Ever since Derrick Rose was there and we drafted Derrick Rose.
I'm sorry that
we have mismanaged our talent and we have mismanaged our teams and our players for way too long. Our management refuses to go into a rebuild. Jerry is insistent on us staying around the play-in instead of just fucking tearing the team apart for the pieces that we've got. And you've seen what's happened. We have not put together a good bunch of people. We don't have a point guard. It's just
Lonzo Ball,
DeMar DeRozan chucking up 2s, Vooch bricking, Kobe White putting up empty stats.
Vooch shot 62% from the field.
Yeah, and Vooch came in and he started yelling at his teammates because he's right. Everyone played bad. Levine shot very bad. They had a players-only meeting 1 game into the season. That should never be happening. The entire fucking... The GMs, the coach, the ownership should all be fucking gone. The Bulls are possibly the biggest disappointment in all of sports right now. Like, I can't think of a team that has a worse present and future than the Bulls.
Yeah.
No, I would argue somehow the Bulls are worse.
They are worse.
Because guess what? We don't have our draft pick. We've got our draft pick this year. We don't have it next year.
However,
It's gone.
the Oakland A's might give you a run for your money there.
We traded away Larry Markkinen and he became an all-star. We traded away Jimmy Butler and he became even better than he was. We traded away Wendell Carter Jr. and he became a really good starting center for the Magic. Maybe this is all a sign.
Contracts in the league. Maybe if you had him, you would have some cap space.
Maybe this is all a sign that the Bulls need to fucking tear it apart. I hate our management. We shot 28% from 3.
Yeah, what a putt.
Billy Donovan deserves to get fired. But the good news is, obviously, as an Australian, I got to see Josh Giddey cook us, which is a good thing because I like Josh Giddey.
All right, this dude's not. We get the Bulls are shit. The most important thing from this game is my number 2 guy, Shea Gorgeous Alexander, looking good out there. Oh my goodness,
he looking gorgeous?
31 points.
Listen, I watched the whole game though. It's the Bulls. Don't take too much of it too seriously yet. He was guarded by Zach LaVine.
Double.
Hey, Zach LaVine got +1 on the night.
He was guarded by Zach LaVine. He can't guard.
Even on defense, I mean, he had a steal and a block, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. Was
I would
plus
say
19.
the biggest
66%.
thing about Shea. The biggest thing about Shea was that plus 19. When he was out there, the team played well.
Him and Giddey are serious. They're real.
But I would say the guy that cooked us the most, Jalen fucking Williams. 16 points.
Actually, I would like to point out Kaysen Wallace in 19 minutes had 13 points on 100% shooting.
Wow.
He did not miss.
How
do you let someone shoot 100%?
He was another one of those guys.
He
was another one of those guys that was very high on in the draft. I think he's a really good defensive point guard. I think he could be really a steal for the Thunder. They've got enough fucking guard play already, but the one highlight I can take out of the Bulls, they were fucking ass. The one highlight I can take out of the Bulls was Andre Drummond crossing up Chet Holmgren and postering his ass. Chet Holmgren had about 3 welcome to the league moments in that game. He was bad. He was bad. I won't judge him too harshly. It's his first game in the NBA, but yeah.
He got crossed up by Andre Drummond. I'm going to judge him as much as I want.
Listen, that might be... I don't think a single player in history has been crossed up by Andre Drummond before.
Well, maybe when he was 24.
No,
not when he was
probably
30.
still not. Bro cannot fucking... Bro, 0 ball handling skills. Bro is literally known... Hold on, I'll go to his fucking stats for that game. His final stats were 6 points, 5 rebounds. He just gets boards.
Board merchant.
Actually, well, he was
6
3 of 4 shooting.
His 6 points were all... Those 6 points on 3 or 4 shooting, they were all dunks. Every single one of those points.
Bro can not get out of the paint.
They weren't driving dunks either. They were grab the ball and put it in the basket.
Actually, well, his dunk against Chet was a driving dunk.
Well, somehow, yes. Because Chet got put on his knees.
The Chet is ass.
That was funny.
We don't know much about the NBA now because obviously it's just started. But we'll come back with a better update next week once we get a full week of games in. But yeah, good week so far. I'm going well with my betting right now. We're all going well. I think AJ's going well.
My betting account is empty. Listen to Smashes, not mine.
It's a good thing he doesn't post on Twitter.
Yeah, I have no access to Twitter. I'm the only one not logged into it.
Yeah, we went 4-0. Yeah, come far along, and we're doing pretty well. The next biggest sporting, the biggest sporting probably event right now,
Aiden?
the MLB World Series. I'm not huge on the MLB. Neither's James.
Aiden, I'll let
This is Aiden and AJ's segment.
Aiden,
I'm a professional MLB analysis.
I'll let you.
Okay, go ahead. Who's winning the World Series?
Aiden or James? I'll let one of you start on this because I am still dumbfounded that these two teams made the World Series.
All right.
I got it. Don't worry.
I'm starting.
I'm putting in my
we have a nice lineup here. Diamondbacks, Rangers, unexpected. No one saw this coming. I think both the Rangers and the Diamondbacks were probably not favorited to win any series.
If you would have put $1 on this World Series at the beginning of the season, what do you think those odds would have been other than
Diamondbacks? I saw it.
Actually,
Rangers were 20,000. Diamondbacks were 50,000.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I think
so. Good money.
It's shocking that the Rangers made it here without DeGrom.
Yeah,
because they don't have DeGrom's hurt
and Scherzer sucking.
And it's still less shocking than the Diamondbacks making it. I think the Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll is real, and he is a really good player, and he's going to be really good for a long time. The Diamondbacks are not going to pay him. He's going to leave. He's going to go to the Yankees. He's going to suck. Then he's going to leave, and he's going to go to like the Dodgers and win a World Series. But anyway, if that happens, someone Venmo me $1.
No, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
No,
he's going to come to New York, suck ass, then go somewhere else and be a fucking all-star.
Yes. I think the Diamondbacks are a good team, dude. They're really good. They surprise you because none of their stats look that good, and then they just kind of keep winning. But for me, I think the Rangers, I think it's their time. They've never won a World Series. I think it's their time. I think this is their World Series to win. I think they have a much better rotation than Diamondbacks do. I think we saw the Diamondbacks. They went down 2-0 in the series against the Phillies. I blamed the Phillies fully for not closing that out when they should have. They thought they were so much better than the Diamondbacks. They thought they could just lose 2 games.
Listen, they were better than the Diamondbacks.
This is the playoffs, but this is the playoffs. You can't just give your opponent games. If the Rangers play serious, they will win this series. But if they play around with their food like the Phillies do, they could lose this series. They're going to underestimate the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks are going to shut them up one of these games. I have the Rangers winning in 6 games.
That's actually exactly my prediction. Rangers in 6. I think the Rangers take the first 2 games with Eovaldi and Monty on the mound. And then they're going to lose the 3rd game with Scherzer because he's just not been good this year.
I think Scherzer gets shelled, and that's the playing with your food game that I think is going to wake up the Rangers. Be like, wait a minute, we're not just going to win every game.
The Diamondbacks' last World Series was 2001. However, they do have World Series winners on their team. They're not new here. They have people that have been here before. They've got Evan Longoria, who won with the Rays in 2008.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're getting the GOAT,
Evan Longoria, who won in 2008 with the Rays. And
no, he didn't win. We lost.
Okay, who's been to the World Series in 2008?
Yes, he's been to the World Series, and he's a vet.
That was his first trip to the World Series in 2008 with the Rays. This is his second trip to the World Series. Fucking what is this? 15 years later.
Yeah, very long time.
Something like that.
God, what a career for Evan Longoria.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I believe
it's a career for sure.
Yeah. The Rangers, I believe, will win this series. Not pretty, not handedly. It'll be a close series. Every game will be close. I'm cheering for the Diamondbacks, though. I hope the Diamondbacks win because
I think everybody hopes the Diamondbacks
Chapman.
Chapman and Jordan Montgomery.
Look, I like Monty. I'm okay with Monty. I'm okay with Monty making it here. As a Yankee fan, I'm fine with Monty making it here. Alright. But fuck Chapman. Chapman will blow at least 1 game because he cannot perform in high pressure situations.
AJ, what will you do if Chapman leaves the Yankees and then 2 years later he wins the World Series? What if he closes out Game 6 of the World Series and they win? Would you kill yourself?
I'm gonna hope that the Rangers sign. Oh no, that the Diamondbacks sign Altuve. The game before that.
Not Altuve.
I
Um,
might be controversial then, but I hope the Rangers win it. I don't really like the Diamondbacks. I don't like a lot of their players, and I really like Adolis Garcia, and I really like
who is there to not like on the Diamondbacks? Other than Evan Longoria, they're a young team. These are two teams that have been pretty.
Rookie.
These are two teams that have been pretty fucking irrelevant over the last decade.
Probably the guy I really want to see win early on is Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
I feel like him winning.
Him,
would
Guerrero
really help.
Jr.
But
yeah, but
I
these
really
are
like
two teams.
I really like fucking.
Go Smasher.
I really like Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia.
Corey Seager's been on fire.
Adolis Garcia has been a demon. Adolis Garcia is a demon.
I just really like Adolis Garcia mainly.
I think. I think the Rangers lineup and pitching staff, besides their bullpen, I think their bullpen is significantly worse than the Diamondbacks. But their starters are better and their lineup is better. Marcus Semien hasn't even been good this playoffs, and they're still in the World Series. What if he's good?
Yeah.
What if he gets hot right now? If he gets hot right now,
Mr. October,
Jonah Himes good.
Mr. November, actually.
Tavares is good. Josh
Adolis
Young's
Garcia
good.
has 7 home runs in the playoffs.
20
in
RBIs.
These playoffs.
20 RBIs, 7 home runs, batting .327.
Ridiculous. He's a demon. He's an absolute demon.
Listen, he might be the Cuban judge.
Easy there. Easy
Cuban
there.
judge is a little much.
And no, Lewis Robert Jr. is the Cuban judge, but yeah.
Cuban judge is just like Juan Soto.
Who, by the way,
I don't even know
Juan Soto
Yankee
gets singles
next
and
year.
doubles. All Judge does is it's a single or it's a homer.
That's the entire
Listen,
Yankees franchise. That's how we've operated for the last 100 fucking years.
Listen.
Become
It's
more
gonna be
like
really
the Braves. Goddamn.
It's going to be very funny when Juan Soto gets traded to the Yankees and has the worst season of his career.
Yeah. And I'm gonna
And then
kill
gets-
myself.
and then Cashman will bench him for like Oswaldo Pereza or something, and then he'll request a trade.
Not Oswaldo Perez. All right, I've got the Rangers winning at 4-2, maybe 4-1. Dominant.
I've got Rangers winning 4-2 or 4-3. The Rangers will win this.
All right, I got the D-bags just to be controversial, man. You gotta have a little faith in them. I think they win it in 7.
I'm hoping for a 7-game series. It would be entertaining.
Everybody would hope for a 7-game series. I think they finish it in 6.
Who finishes?
The Rangers.
I've got the Rangers in 6 or 5. James, you want to take us into the world of combat sports?
So, I mean, I think. Well, obviously, there's a Francis Ngannou fight coming up, or Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury fight coming up. We spoke about that a lot on the last episode, so I'm not going to get too far into that. It's pretty clear Tyson Fury is going to win. I think the main thing that we need to talk about for this is a summary or kind of review of the UFC 294 and kind of looking ahead for what's next for those fighters that fought there. So the first thing I want to bring up is Volkanovski. Smasher, do you want to get us started here?
I'm sad. I'm gutted. All of Australia was really rooting for Volk in that one, and at least hoping it went the distance, and he just got demolished in that fight. It was not fun. Israel has a bright future by the looks of it, because beaten Volk twice now. I mean,
it's Islam has a bright future.
Islam. Israel's the one that pulled out, wasn't it? No, I'm just retarded. Yeah, I think.
AJ, can you mark the time down, please?
For what?
Did you not even realize what you did?
Word.
Said what word?
The Arsenal, bro. Come on.
That's fucking fine.
Dude, come. We can't be saying that on YouTube. We can't be saying that in general.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
2 hours and 17
Right.
minutes in.
So what's his
Don't care.
name? What's his name? Islam or Israel?
Islam is the guy that Volk fought. Israel,
Yeah, so who's
Israel
Israel?
Adesanya is used to be the middleweight champion.
Islam is a religion. Israel's a country. Moving on.
No,
Well,
Israel fought.
I've got Islam winning. I think Islam goes on to have a great future after beating.
This segment, okay, we might have to just restart this segment or cut all of this because this has gone awfully so far, bro.
How?
You just said Islam. I think I've got Islam winning. The fight's already happened.
No, I said I've got Islam having a great future.
Okay, dude, give me. AJ, you might. I think we can skip the UFC for now, or do you want to just?
It's your segment,
Fine.
James. It's your segment.
I have,
we can cut this.
I have a prediction for Islam's next fight. I know
Maybe
who he's
don't
gonna
get me
fight.
you don't.
God damn.
I know
Who's he gonna
he's
fight? Who's he gonna fight?
He's gonna fight
James
Justin
Elverson.
Gaethje. He's gonna fight
Justin
him,
Gaethje is that's actually not a bad
And-
thing. It's
and he's
between
gonna
him and
win.
Charles.
and Islam's gonna win. I think Islam's gonna face him and he's gonna win. And then I think Charles is gonna be like, I gotta show you something. Then he's gonna get his ass beat too. And then
Nah, I've got him fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor beefs up and
You know what? Actually, that is a fight that would not make me make
UFC
sense,
crazy.
but
But
it would be a
money
very
far.
fun fight.
That shit.
And I
would go
think that is
viral.
something Dana White would definitely look into because we all know he loves Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And I think that could be. I think Conor would take that fight because if he beats Islam, that's his revenge against Khabib. Because we all know Islam's Khabib's special cousin. But
I think
listen, man.
I think his next fight is
Special
gonna be against my man right down
Someone
here,
with an
James
intellectual
Elverson.
disability.
I'll take on the victory.
Listen, man. I'm
He's been in the weight room.
I'm serious about my boy Justin fighting Islam. He already lost to Charles. I think he's like, damn, I cannot beat him. I gotta try to take out Islam while I still can, man. And he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose badly. It's gonna be knockout. No decision needed. He's gonna get his ass beat. It's gonna be
People are talking about a pre-fight, if you will, to the Islam versus next champion or next contender, and saying Charles and Justin should fight first.
I think
because-
that'd be good. Didn't Charles already beat him though?
Yeah, he did already beat him, but Justin
beat him
Gaethje
again.
has knocked out Dustin the Diamond Poirier, and you don't knock out Dustin the Diamond Poirier without a title shot. So I think Justin Gaethje is just
that's a really good win. That's a really good win.
that is a hot win.
Great analysis, James.
What? What?
Okay, so
Hey, I would also like to say I'm liking this Polish guy right here, Mateusz Gamrot. He's looking pretty good to me. I think he's a pretty good fighter.
what rank is he right now?
He's 6 in his weight class. He's sixth. He's 23 and 2.
6 in lightweight.
Yeah.
I think he's got a little more to prove. There's still guys ahead of him like Dustin. So
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
But-
Have we got anything else in the competition?
yeah, we got a lot to cover in the UFC.
What else next?
I think next up we should go with the Hamzat versus Usman Kamaru fight. Kamaru Usman fight. You know what? They scheduled it for 3 rounds, and I think that worked heavily in Hamzat's favor. 5 rounds, and I think Usman would have taken the victory there.
I mean, surprised it was only 3.
Yeah, I know. I was too. I thought it was scheduled for 5, but in the first round, Usman got 10-8'd on a control basis. I mean, there wasn't any real damage done to Usman. Any submission attempt, Usman defended, and the one time he got it under the chin, Usman just slammed him on the canvas. So he didn't do any like real damage to him. So it was basically 10-8 on control time, which, yeah, it's by the rules. That's a 10-8, but that's not the 10-8 we want to see. And the later rounds, Usman was defending the takedowns. I think he went 8 takedown defenses out of 12. So Hamzat got him down 4 times. And Usman definitely looked better striking, but obviously we know what happened. Hamza took home the victory.
Boo.
You guys have any thoughts on Usman's performance?
I mean, I predicted Hamza to win it by decision, and that's exactly what he did. He got the job done. I think it should have been 5 rounds again.
Decision is lame.
It was a
Knock
bit
him out.
cheap. I feel like 5 rounds and Usman would have had a much better chance winning that
I
one.
think Usman would have 100% won if it was 5.
But yeah, I mean, hey, on to
And
the next fight, I guess.
No, not on to the next fight. And the result of that fight ended
No,
in Hamza
I meant like on to the next fight for those two fighters. Like they gotta
Okay.
take loss
and then
move on.
the result for Hamza, it doesn't look like he's going to get the title shot that we thought he was going to get. He ended up getting ranked ninth in the middleweight division. Do you guys think this is a fair ranking?
Seems a bit low. I
I
mean,
think he should be a little higher.
Yeah.
7. I'm thinking 7.
it was a pretty big win.
I think this is actually a pretty good placement for him. I mean, the win over Usman wasn't necessarily dominant. Some people are even calling it a tie, and it's against a guy who's coming. That was his first time. What?
Was he ranked?
No, this was Usman's first time fighting in the middleweight division. He was a previous champion at welterweight. But yeah, this was his first fight at middleweight on 11 days' notice. It wasn't that dominant of a victory. I think 9 is a pretty good placement. You know, Hamza did beat a former champion.
Maybe he should be 10, you know? I mean, maybe he should be 10.
Maybe they're being generous.
Where was he
yeah.
placed?
You know what? Maybe he should be 12.
Where was he placed? Where was he placed before this fight?
I don't think he was ranked before this fight.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, no, okay. 9 sounds pretty fair then.
Yeah, but he had fought at welterweight, I believe, and fought the number 2 ranked guy, which is why people were assuming he was going to get ranked higher. But it doesn't translate. Yes, I think he should still. The fight that got canceled, him versus Paulo Costa, I think that still needs to happen because Paulo Costa is ranked 6th right now, I believe.
That would help.
And I think the next title shot should be for Dricus DDP. I think he should get it. He did. I'm not sure if he denied it necessarily is the right way to say it, but he didn't take it against Israel, and Sean Strickland ended up getting the win over him. So, you know, there's that factor of he didn't take it when he had the chance, but I still think he's deserving of it. He's the number 1 contender right now. I think it's the clear choice because I don't see who else is for it. But I think Usman still has a chance to get another belt. I think if he stays in the division, and especially if he doesn't take a fight on 11 days' notice and actually has a camp, I think he could beat a lot of these top guys at middleweight, especially after seeing what he did to Hamza.
Taking a fight on 11 days' notice isn't exactly a formula to winning much.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got balls. He's got balls.
Fuck yeah, exactly. Stepping into a fight like that with such little notice. Which is, I think, also what ended up affecting Volk. Stepping in on 11 days' notice and having to cut that much. It would have hurt him a bit.
Yeah, but he knew that going into the fight. He said he was still going to go in there and try and win. I don't think you can use that as an excuse. I mean,
obviously no. He was still outclassed there, and
yeah.
But
I think the most questionable thing about UFC 294 was that doctor.
Jesus, yes.
He's an idiot.
He's the guy who was punched in the balls, but wasn't punched in the balls, apparently. Kicked in the balls, sorry, yeah.
Yep, comes in, tells me he wasn't kicked in the balls.
In pain, was in rolling around. Didn't he go back afterwards and have to go to the hospital?
Yeah, after the fight, he went back, threw up, and then was taken to the hospital and had ultrasound on his balls.
Awful.
Wasn't hitting the balls, but... and then another slip up by this one's more controversial. In the Johnny Walker, the Anatoly, I don't know how to say his Russian name, but the Russian guy versus Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker takes an illegal knee to the head while he's grounded. You can't do that to a grounded opponent, obviously. Doctor comes in, has to give him an exam, and Johnny Walker's not a native English speaker, and neither was the doctor, being it's in Abu Dhabi. Right? Comes over, asks him a question. He asks, "Where are you?" Johnny Walker replies, "In the desert." And the doctor says the fight needs to be stopped.
I mean,
He was
He is
right.
right.
Walker
He is
was
right.
right. He's in
Technically
the
correct.
Right.
It's getting kneed on the head is obviously going to be detrimental to your performance.
But I feel like you could use more clarification with that question, like trying to.
Yeah, it was not a good question. And also, not a
His
good
fingers aren't holding
answer.
up.
Yeah, easy. Like, how many fingers am I holding up? Or like,
Well, it was
where
an
are we
eyesight
right
issue.
now?
It's but
Like,
yeah,
Who is
it's
that guy?
fine.
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
yeah, who you fight? Something where it's easy to communicate. Just where are you? I'm in the ring. I'm in the desert.
in Abu Dhabi, but
I'm in Abu Dhabi. Like,
but the fight gets called off and it's ruled a no contest, which I think is the more controversial part of this because in previous fights we've seen, especially like Aljamain Sterling's title shot, for example, against Peter Yan, takes an illegal knee to the head. Peter Yan gets disqualified and loses the belt, and that's how Aljamain Sterling becomes champion. Is this a fight, or is this a situation where a disqualification should be used against Anatolov, and should Johnny Walker get that win instead of it being a no contest? Because
if it was an illegal contact to the head, yeah, I feel like that's grounds for disqualification. If it was enough to knock him out the fight, even though he shouldn't have been knocked out of the fight, I feel like, it could be in order.
yeah, I mean, it should be a disqualification, but the fight should also still happen. Like, it should have
should have
ended there.
kept going.
Hopefully those two get a rematch.
Like, that question shouldn't be asked because the fight should have kept going in the first place. But it's tough when you've got two non-native English speakers trying to ask each other English. It's never going to go too well.
All right, and last thing for the UFC, the pound for pound rankings, where Islam moves up over Alexander Volkanovski to the number 2 spot for pound. John Jones remains number 1. This seems to be controversial, especially on Twitter. Any thoughts on this?
Well, I know we were talking about this before the show, and I know that James, you like John Jones at number 1.
I do like John Jones at number 1.
I think Islam deserves number 1. I think Islam beating Volk twice now, dominantly in the second one. I think he deserves to be in that number 1 spot.
I disagree.
After I watched that fight,
John Jones.
I love John Jones. John Jones is great, but Jesus, he was great.
I think John
I
Jones
think
deserves that.
I'm using my thinking cap right now. I know it's gonna happen, right? John Jones in the future is gonna fight Sergey Pavlovich, and he's gonna win, but it's gonna be close, and they're gonna move him down to number 2. It's gonna happen. Right
That is
right now.
almost. Do not listen to this guy. He does not know anything. That is an awful
Gonna
take.
happen.
John Jones is going to fight Stipe and retire, even though that fight did just get canceled because John Jones tore his pec.
He's gonna be back.
But once that fight does happen, John Jones will probably win and then retire. But I believe until he retires, he deserves that number 1 spot. Unless Islam does something really crazy, because he did beat the pound for pound number 2 guy at the time, but he's a featherweight and is fighting down. John Jones has fought high caliber guys for the last decade, finished most of them, and done it in a dominant way. And then recently he goes up to heavyweight, submits the current champion in the first round, and I just don't see how you can make the argument he's not the pound for pound number 1 guy after he's beat this many guys that are high caliber and done it over this course like the last decade. It's just, I don't think there's any arguing he's not the pound for
I
pound
definitely
number 1.
respect that. I think they're both great fighters. I'm just, it might be a bit of Australian bias because I just saw him beat the shit out of the guy that I love. But
Listen, man, the only way I'm ever putting John Jones below Islam is if Islam would magically be able to beat him in a fight, which will never happen.
Yeah, Islam would have to bulk up 100 pounds.
That would never happen.
Kind of a hard thing to do.
They can meet in the
like,
middle. One can gain
They'll never
50, one
fight.
can lose 50. Meet in the middle.
Well, actually, Islam's walk around weight outside of the octagon is supposedly 200 pounds. So
Yeah, I think
he's not that
I think
far off.
I think even if they weighed the same though, it's John Jones, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You don't got a chance. He also might be on drugs, so you never know.
He is on drugs. Well, maybe not anymore, but at one point he was definitely on drugs.
He was. He was certainly on drugs.
He's on beta.
PEDs and cocaine.
We'll save.
Cocaine the night before.
Yeah.
We'll
I mean, isn't every fucking athlete these days?
we'll save that debate for a different time.
They're all
Especially
sniffing coke.
LeBron
We'll
James.
save
They're
the
all
PED
sniffing
debate for a different show.
I'm talking about coke.
John Jones was out doing coke weekends before fights.
Hey,
So
if you can do that,
it really boosts your
go
athletic.
for it.
It must be working.
Is that everything? Is that everything for this episode?
I believe that is everything.
I'd like to give one more quick spiel, which is I want to give out just in case. I don't know when this video is coming out, but
Hopefully
one
tomorrow.
of my bets for today. We'll see if it hits. I've got Derek Lively over 6.5 rebounds. Negative 135 on DraftKings. Slam that shit. That's my lock of the day.
Slam that.
I think the lock of the day is whatever AJ says will happen will not happen.
Yeah, all right, AJ. What's your bet? What's your bet? We're going against it.
I haven't even looked at any of the lines actually because my account is empty. I might stick $20 back in there.
Derek Lively over 6.5 rebounds. Trust me, he got 10.
My lock of the day
He's
is
getting
Jordan Addison over 60 receiving yards.
Oh, that'll hit. That'll hit.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison 60 receiving yards. That's my lock.
Fuck, actually,
All right.
that might hit.
All
Alright.
That's it for this episode. Thank you for watching.
Lost my microphone there. All right, yeah. That's episode 3 of Bobblehead Sports.
Follow all the
How many outros do we need?
follow all the socials. All linked down in the bio.
Yeah, Bobblehead Sports on
Don't
everything.
let him near a preschool.